So Lottie, my sister, I thought I had this adjusted. I thought I was ready, but I'm not. She goes out of town. She's gonna hang out with her friends. Fine, do whatever you want. That's cool. And then she messages me, and she's like, "How are you watching the Super Bowl?" And I'm like, "Here by myself, not with you." And she's like, "Oh man, that sucks. Hey, what's the login for the TV?" And I'm like, I gave it to her because I didn't give a shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I said, you can only have, X amount of users on AT&T TV. Which, by the way, AT&T TV sucks. I'm just going to throw that out there. They fucking suck.
Unless that sponsorship.
Unless they want, yeah. Unless they want to sponsor the show, in which case it's awesome.
Lovely company.
No, they fucking suck, man. Fucking stations are always going out. Channels are decent.
Yeah.
But anyway,
a quick aside here. Is there any telecommunications company that's good? Does anyone ever say, "Wow, I love my cable. I love my cell service. It's so good"? Have
you ever you've used YouTube TV before, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
It was good. Yeah, I liked it.
That's the only one, honestly, from peer review that has ever gotten good. Oh, that and PlayStation View. Mm-hmm. I am so
sick. Which is dead, right?
I'm so sick that it took me so long to discover PlayStation View. We talked about it ad nauseum on the show, but as a recap, their advertising on that was awful.
Terrible.
And they, everyone thought that you needed to have a PlayStation.
You could only watch it on PlayStation, yeah.
And at the time, I was like, I don't want to watch all of my TV on. I don't want to have to turn my PlayStation on to watch TV.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that, but they didn't advertise that. And once I finally figured that out, because I was looking for a good deal for NFL Red Zone, and they had it, a really good deal for it. By the time I figured it out, they were like, "Hey,
it's going away.
In a couple months, you might want to figure some things out because
don't get too comfortable."
So I give her the YouTube TV.
I wasn't considering like YouTube TV and
internet TV stuff.
Yeah. Not like Spectrum.
Okay,
or
AT&T,
Comcast.
Yeah, all of those. Yeah, they're all dog shit.
Yeah.
They're all dog shit.
Okay, I just want to confirm
because they're a dying breed and they know it, and for some reason they won't get with the times. And by the time that they do, it'll be over.
Yeah,
it'll be fucking over because these other ones are jumping in. I mean, I experiment on and off with Sling all the time until they finally get it right.
Sounds like a drug.
And the last time, I got that Sling on me, dog. The last time I used it, it looked pretty good. So Sling is up there. I don't want to get into a discussion about all the. You continue. Have a lot of options to cut the cord. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's not really cutting the cord anymore because of how much you're spending on. It used to be this money saving thing, but anyway.
Paramount Plus.
I mean, what?
Get out of my face.
Exactly. What?
It's enough.
The fuck out of here.
No.
The fuck out of here. So she's like, I told her, you might not be able to use it because we're all watching shit. And my fucking uncle, he goes upstairs and he watches some like horror movie or whatever. And my mom doesn't want to watch football, so she's in her room watching shit. So it's me and my dad downstairs watching the game. And so sure enough, no, she can't get on because everybody's on. Right. She messaged me. She messaged me.
Oh yeah.
She messaged me, and she says, "Can you like kick somebody off?" And I'm like, "What? Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Mm-hmm.
Like the audacity of this person to be like, just go. And she's like, "Can you just see if anybody is on there?" I'm like, I am not gonna go upstairs. Like I'm not gonna take roll call. Of who's using the service. Like you fucked up. Okay, you went out of town.
You were last.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I don't know why I had to get that off my chest. I don't know why I was thinking about that.
Okay.
But I just needed to say it out loud. I think because I was thinking about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because we didn't, or the big game. I was thinking about that and kind of giving our thoughts on that. And the first thing that came to my head was like the audacity of this bitch to message me and think I'm going to kick somebody off this. So anyway, we got to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
I don't really care to talk about the game I don't think people care to listen to that.
So it's old news.
Yeah. So if you watch the game, obviously, if you're even remotely into sports, you know that Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, and it wasn't competitive.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was a boring.
Yeah, it was very disappointing, especially because the Chiefs are an offensive powerhouse. Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game right now, a perennial MVP candidate. And, anyway, look for that on our other show. But I did want to just the whole presentation about the whole thing, just where we're at with Super Bowls.
Sure.
So we'll get into that.
Big games.
The
big games, you mean?
Where we are with big games.
Grande
big games.
Juegos.
And also, when everybody's listening to this, it'll be Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of stuff on our plate. We've got a lot of stuff on tap. I should redo that.
It's better. Bring it back.
We got a lot of stuff on tap.
That's nice.
Especially with all, we'll get into it.
Okay.
But before we can get into any of that, Obi, we got to get into these beers. So please, if you will, tell the people what we're drinking today.
I'm so glad you asked. We have the Prosperity Brewers Green Screen Hazy IPA. Let's see if we have any content here on the side. We do not. We yet again do not. But you have a hashtag Taste Prosperity. These guys are out of Boca Raton, Florida. I believe I've brought some back long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But happen to be in the area again to check out the cool Japanese garden down there.
Right on.
Highly recommend it. But yeah, definitely a solid brewery that I would recommend if you're in the South FLA area.
All right. Well, without further ado, my name is Marco Dupa. The guy that handed me this cold brewski is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up?
And this is episode 299 of the One Beer In podcast. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to fucking... Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out.
Cheers.
4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in. Easy. Can't you taste the haze?
Mm-hmm.
See, there you go, Prosperity. We're just giving them to you. Taste the haze.
That's all you got to put on there.
Something. Just something. What is the story behind this beer? We used to get annoyed with like long drawn out, like, one day I was walking in the forest and tripped on a frog.
I want it to be known you can go too far with it. So I'll still hold that stance partially.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's nice to have a little flair. Give it, tell us a story. If not that, then at least give us some description of what we should be looking for here.
Yes. You wouldn't go to a fancy restaurant and not expect like the
maitre d'.
The maitre d'.
Mm-hmm.
To come over and be like, the chef special is the steak au duois,
mm-hmm.
and it's shaved butter, crushed garlic.
Mm-hmm.
The chef actually dropped it in the kitchen, and that gave it a little crunch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And put it back on the fryer and fried it to a crisp. That'll be $48.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. You want some kind of... Give me a reason.
Yeah.
A reason to live.
Get me excited to have this beer.
Yeah.
I should say it's a 6.5% ABV. I just had to look that up online.
All right.
Also, if you go to Prosperity Brewing, look out for Tank. Tank.
Yes. I'll put him on.
Yeah. Tank is a very good boy.
What'd you think of the couple of little sparkles I put in last episode?
Great. Yeah. Big fan. Let's keep that going.
I'm having a little little bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of fun. I was laughing a lot.
So if you guys usually just listen to the audio, give the videos a shot next time.
Yeah, we're just stepping it up, man. I'm telling you guys that it's not a the chart is not a
Maitre d'.
The maitre d' is not going upwards it's not a 90-degree angle, right? It's not what is that? A exponential. It's not going up exponentially, right? It's going up. It's a steady rise.
Yeah,
a steady rise in quality. Every we're just putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
We finally get to a point where it's like, you know what the fuck is up? It's the One Beer In podcast, baby.
Little pod that could.
Yeah,
we're chugging away.
So, speaking of the little pod that could, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. Like I said, episode 299, slow creep to that 300. I'm gonna pretend like we have something planned for it.
Yeah,
because we do.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Huge,
big, huge. So. Look out for that.
Get excited.
That's exciting, right?
You got some stuff planned.
Yeah. So, I was interested in the overall vibe of the big game.
Okay.
Because it seemed to me, and I haven't looked up the numbers of who watched it. I'm sure it did gangbusters like it does every year. And that just no question about that. But it did kind of feel, I don't know, kind of and maybe that had to do with the quality of the game. Maybe that had to do with the quality of the broadcast, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just personally exhausted by the whole thing and like the pomp and circumstance of the big game and everything around it. The Super Bowl. Fuck you. Come after me.
Please don't threaten them. We don't want that smoke.
Everything around it just kind of, I don't know, was super exhausting. And, you know, like the idea of, I mean, it used to be fun to kind of watch the Super Bowl commercials and everybody have a good time criticizing the commercials and stuff. And, you know, the halftime show. We'll talk about the halftime show. But, like,
sure.
I don't know. It just felt like a lot of grandstanding and a lot of just like, look, man, like the Springsteen Jeep commercial. That one really bothered me a lot, and
that was the most grandstanding, self-applauding bullshit ad. I hated it. And I knew what they were going for because it's a thing advertisers do. But, oh my God, did that rub me the wrong way.
Let me just say, I know this is going to make a difference. Ad companies are going to continue to do this for years to come. But I can speak for American citizens when I say we're sick of the commercials that are... Actually, I could just stop it. We're sick of the commercials. We're sick of the fucking ads that pretend like they're not trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
You know, kids jumping off of like a cliff into a thing, and they're like having fun with their families, and somebody is doing the voiceover and clouds, and some interracial couple is kissing for the first time, and you know, maybe you get a flash of a gay couple. They don't actually do anything.
No. They could be friends. They could be very close friends.
There's no way to really tell.
You don't want to upset middle America.
And it's just a flash across the screen. So...
Oh, were those two buddies there?
They could be buddies.
Weird. Are they going fishing?
What kind of buddies? What kind of buddies you want?
Whatever, buddy.
And then at the very end, you just get Jeep.
And you're left breathless.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
If you're a company, like if you're not like a nonprofit that's actually helping those people in the commercial, stop it.
Shut up.
Just make funny commercials. You're trying to sell a car, sell the car.
Or sell how cool your car is.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm so tired of this, like, self-aggrandizing while trying to seem bigger than the thing you're selling angle. like that. Now, see, there is a way to do it right, and I forget what the brand was, but it was the one with the swimmer. You know that ad? It goes back in time and shows when she got adopted, but they're like
the girl who didn't with her legs.
Yes, that one.
What company was that?
Was a good one.
And it wasn't that good because you don't remember.
That's what I was about to say too. But at the time, I remember it being like I remember watching and being like, "Oh, that's a really interesting like passage of time," and like it had good impact, emotional impact to it. And I was like, "Wow, that was really good." Whereas the Jeep one, I'm like,
I mean, I'm watching it with my dad, who's already kind of fed up with he's fucking fed up.
Yeah,
with pop culture, with the left and kind of the right too. He's just fucking fed up. So he's already every single commercial he just goes, look, we're watching it, and I could just see he just goes. And sometimes I had to pretend like I didn't see him looking at me because every time I would look, he would just go. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we doing this?
It was a Toyota ad.
Okay, so another company trying to sell us a car.
Yeah.
But at least done in a better way that isn't like, this country's gonna come together. I don't know why we're fighting. And all this coming from Springsteen, who famously, a guy who, first of all, never did shit like this. Right. I didn't know this until I saw an article about it, but this is apparently one of, if not his first big ad. Like, he just doesn't do ads. He doesn't put his name on shit unless he truly believes in it. Yeah. And it's been very, very rare for him to do ads. Okay. And he actually had a hand in this ad. That's why he did it, because they gave him creative control over it. So this was fucking Springsteen's.
Stick to the songs, boss.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Just next time.
Trash.
And I didn't even think that it was. I just didn't like it at the time, and then moved on. Yeah. And then I saw these think pieces about it, and I was like, huh. I didn't realize that happens to me a lot, where sometimes I'm like, I have a feeling about something, and I'm like, whatever, and then I just forget about it, and then I'll see think pieces.
It sticks in somebody's craw enough to make a think piece about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember being slightly upset by that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It happens all the time. I think to myself, like, I'm always angry about something. So like, is this just another thing, or is this like real? Is there some kind of righteous indignation about, like, should I be more upset about this? Yeah. And that's what happened with the Springsteen thing. I was like, me and my dad were ranting about it. I'm like, fucking Jeep. Just make a funny commercial, okay? Just have some kind of celebrity cameo, make it goofy, and then Jeep. They ride off in a Jeep. Why do you have to fucking, get on your soapbox?
Yeah. Make some kind of social statement.
Yeah.
Not the time. I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like anything can be used as, like, an avenue for a good message, but it just came off so try hard, and, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of conversation about unity and reaching across the aisle, but we ain't there yet.
No.
We ain't there yet.
It seems that no one's really reaching, though. That's the thing.
No, and I don't think anyone's ready for that yet, given the way this entire election season went.
And still going.
And really. Still going, yeah. We have currently, the trial going on. So, yeah, I think if they were to push that ad to next year, maybe it would have been better.
Yeah.
But time and they didn't read the room.
No.
And they're not going to be like, it came off like the Pepsi ad with the Kardashian.
Yeah. Where she, no more racism.
Yeah, exactly.
No more violence.
Or excuse me, is she a Jenner?
Kardashian, Jenner. She is a Jenner.
Okay, that's what I thought.
She was not Kylie, but the other one, Katie. I don't know.
Yes, the famous Katie Jenner.
Samantha
Jenner. Yes.
Yeah, very tone deaf.
Yeah.
Just like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah. But speaking to your overall feeling of, like, kind of about the entire thing, I mean, I felt the same way, and I just felt like overall this entire event felt kind of forced.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't really looking forward to it, you know? Like, I made a thing of it just because I wanted an excuse to make some turkey burger sliders.
Yeah.
But
I made turkey burgers.
wow. Health, fitness.
That's right.
That's us now.
And I only got Michelob Ultras. And I made it a thing to not get chips and stuff. I got a little charcuterie board thing.
Nice. Okay.
And
Protein. Yeah.
I just did that.
Yeah.
As like the snack before everything was all the food was done.
Yeah.
And then and then that was it. I ate and then fucking that was it. I didn't just keep going back to the kitchen and
very good.
Self-control.
Very good. Very
Sorry,
good.
Continue.
Yeah, but I made a thing out of it because I wanted to, but the event itself I could take or leave, and that has a lot to do with the fact I'm a Jets fan. But all that aside, like the game was boring. The ads mostly sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, even more than usual this year, in my opinion.
Hey man, how sad is that Uber Eats commercial?
Yes.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Just watching them. They look so old. Mm-hmm. They look like... I'm not going to say it.
Don't even. Don't bother. Don't do it.
I'm going to say it. They look like they're wearing... they both look like they're wearing Mike Myers and Dana Carvey masks. Ill-fitting Halloween masks.
They look like the animate raisins in those commercials. They're like... They look like they're wearing suits. They look like they're like Edgar.
Yeah.
You know, they're wearing human...
Is that better?
They're wearing human suits.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
And then the Cardi B thing. You know, I like Cardi B, but like, come on,
it didn't
guys.
hit. It didn't hit.
Man, it was so sad.
Yeah. But anyway, overall, I just feel like the entire thing was just a lot of...
Can you look
cares?
up the what the viewership was of it?
Sure.
Just so we have a frame of reference. We could be fucking wrong.
I will say though that I did enjoy The Weeknd.
Yeah. My dad, when he started to sing, my dad got up and he was like, bathroom break. So he gets up, he's walking around the kitchen, The Weeknd singing, and he's just like, another failed attempt, huh? And I was like, you're not even watching it. And he's like, it used to be. Now, okay. He just starts going off on this tangent. He's like, it used to be an honor. It used to be a fucking honor to be asked to do the halftime show. Now you got these bums out here.
The Weeknd. Bums. He can't even spell his name.
I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, hey, just need to go back to the old thing. And then he goes, just ask Bruno Mars to do it again. Like, Bruno Mars.
Was that the old days?
I know. He was all over the place, man. He was all over the place. By the way, that's not my dad.
It's only because you vaguely look like Bruno Mars.
That's all he
got a slight joy out of, like, that's my son. My son.
Some kind of pride. He finally has done something with his life.
Look, that's you with a job.
Look. If you were successful, then look, see it?
Hey, if you worked out sometimes, you could be this guy.
You got to do what that guy does. Shave your face, lose about 100 pounds.
Lose like 6 inches of height.
Yeah. Bless up.
I will say,
average height, bro.
According to the New York Post, Bucks' rout of Chiefs earns worst Super Bowl rating since 1969.
Oh, wow.
So we're not alone in our feelings.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I hate to bring it to this. I hate to bring it in this direction, but I'm gonna.
Okay. Swerve the car.
Well, there's this idea that like people didn't watch the NBA, for instance, and a lot of people attributed to not completely, but a lot of people contributed a lot of the viewership loss to the BLM stuff, right?
Okay.
And anytime that I have this discussion or argument with anybody, I always tell them that, like, yes, that definitely contributed to it. Mm-hmm. There's people who were, I know people who were like, no, I'm not watching it. And it's because of that. I'm just tired of the politics. I'm tired of them putting it in my face, blah, blah, blah. For whatever reason.
I really hate the end zone says end racism.
I know, right?
It hurts.
I can't see it anymore.
I hate it.
And I used to say, yes, that does contribute to it, but there's a lot more at play here that some people are conveniently choosing to ignore.
Sure.
And the argument is, if you just take the politics out of sports, you'll get all of your viewership back. And it's just like, look, man, there's
no
people are exhausted. They're just exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't care what side of the political spectrum you land on. People are just tired of all of this. And I don't want to talk about, COVID and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, right now, people are just so tired. And
there's a lot of other stuff going on than football.
Yeah. And all it does is just make you more tired. And this thing, sports in general, I mean, I know that people look at sports as like an escape.
Sure.
And when they see shit like that, it's like, fuck, it's everywhere. I can't escape it. I don't want to watch this either. Fine. But when you have a Super Bowl that's led by, number one, a MAGA guy.
Yeah.
And then the other quarterback is a guy who's pretty apolitical at this point, because he's so young in his career. Kind of doesn't make sense for him to take any political risks. And he's a stellar quarterback. And you have Tom Brady, who's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. People after this will call him the greatest. So you have a pretty good storyline, and you have a good reason for MAGA people to tune in, right? Sure. Theoretically.
Yeah.
And yet, you look at the numbers, and it's like, okay, you guys didn't even show up for your boy.
Right.
So, obviously, there's more at play than just get these politics out of my sports and these sports out of my politics, I'm not making any real point. I'm just saying, like, there's more at play, and people need to have a more nuanced conversation about why we're not watching anything, not just basketball.
Yeah, but they're not going to, because it fits their narrative.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. You saw the same thing. God, it still upsets me when I think about it. But there are like these boomer memes that I saw during the inauguration, where it's like, oh, look at the difference between the two inaugurations.
I know.
And it's like, really? You really think everyone voted for this guy? One of the biggest turnouts of all time? Really? You think? It's like, oh, actually, it's because they're actually, thinking about COVID protocols and not causing a mass spreader event. That's why that's happening right now. It's just like, you accuse the other side of being sheep and not being reasonable and not listening to facts, but at the same time you're spewing the same crap. You can't have it both ways, sir. You cannot.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the same thing with that.
Yeah.
Same thing with that.
It's like you want it to be the way that you want it to be that fits your argument. And it's like,
but it don't be that.
It don't be that way. You want it to be one way. You want it to be one way. Would you stop saying that? You want it to be one way. But it's the other way. And then that guy died in the next scene. They shot that guy.
They shot him. He died. Yeah.
And that actually brings me to what else we wanted to talk about. Oh, okay, wait. Do we want to get into the TV discussion, or do we want to talk about Valentine's Day a little bit before we? Let's end with Valentine's Day.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
You always end with love.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
Yep.
So, speaking of greatest TV shows of all time.
TV viewership.
TV viewership and it being really down. I don't know. I don't know what made me do this. I don't know what drew me to it. I think it's because I don't want to commit to any new thing, and I was just scrolling through, and this is what happens, dude. I get hit with a lightning bolt of like inspiration that goes, all right, now's the time.
We're doing this now.
Yeah. Not when somebody told me to or asked me to. And that's not even contrary to popular belief about my personality. It's not out of spite that I don't watch these things when people tell me to. It's just, I just don't. And
it's not a laziness. You just don't feel like it.
Yeah. But I want people to know it's not because I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it.
You said I should do it. I ain't going to do it.
Not till I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. But I finally started watching Twin Peaks.
Wow. You're only like 25 years late.
I'm not the only person who discovered this show super late. Everybody did, pretty much.
I did too.
Other than, whoever caught it early enough, I guess, in its initial run to go, this is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. No one's watching this show, but it's the best. So I know that you really enjoy it.
Yep.
And I know that it's considered one of the best shows of all time. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I know nothing. Oh, and also that it's obviously Dave Lynch's baby.
Yeah.
Other than that, I know nothing about the show.
Okay. That's an exact perfect way to enter the world of Twin Peaks. I'm very excited for you.
Yeah.
I have to warn you. I got to warn you.
Oh no.
I love it so much because it is perfectly to my taste, which is hurt me, daddy. Hurt me.
Yeah, it's already pretty gut-wrenching. I mean, the pilot alone.
Oh, the pilot's one of the best pilots of all time.
Yeah.
All time. It sets the stage perfectly. I love it. It encapsulates basically all of Twin Peaks in one episode.
Right.
It's like a mini movie. I love it. I love it.
It kind of is. I mean, it's an hour and a half. So.
Yeah. So they set the stage really, really well with that. But there is so much more to unravel in this, and it gets real weird.
Yeah.
To the point where you're going to be like, what are we doing here? What's going on? But Twin Peaks is magic.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Without spoiling anything, obviously. It is anchored by this mystery, this small town mystery.
Mm-hmm.
You have an FBI agent come into the small town to investigate a murder. That's at the core of everything, right? But within that, you get like supernatural elements, horror elements, soap opera elements, romance, all of it. It's all there.
Yeah.
And at times it bashes up against itself, but it never doesn't work.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, I mean, there are some scenes. I mean, even this is the first couple of episodes I've watched. There are scenes where it's a jarring cut from how horrifying the reality is to like this goofy. Mm-hmm. The score is like the strangest thing.
Yeah, Angelo Badalamenti, I think his name is. That score, the entire Twin Peaks theme and everything, like the entire soundtrack,
it really is. It's
haunting and dreamy.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a weird ethereal like jazz element to it too.
Yes.
And like it's so strange.
But like old timey jazz.
Yeah.
We're like, what year was this set in?
Yeah. It feels like these teens are like in the 50s, but it's set like in the early 90s, late 80s. It's very jarring,
and the soap opera aspect of it. I'm glad you brought that up because that's like, I don't watch fucking soap operas, but that's for some reason they set a world that it works in, that it's so goofy, and then it gets brought back down by the incredible darkness. That's at the, I guess, the core of everything.
Yeah.
That it brings all of that goofiness back down. Like you juxtapose Bobby's character as this like greaser type guy, cool dude,
tough Fonzie teen,
and you're like, cool guy. And then you realize like, oh no, he's not a cool guy. He's kind of shitty, right?
Yeah.
And this is only a couple episodes in, so he could be a fucking saint. I don't know. But at the time, right now, he's fucking shitty, right?
Yeah.
And then, he's dating so-and-so who's supposed to be blah, 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 blah. And you get all these weird interrelational things. Yeah. And then you get, then you find out the story with one of the girls that he's dating, and then her story, like she's this bombshell working at a diner, and she goes home to this husband who is an absolute monster.
I love that storyline.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's just something that you don't usually see. It's a horrifying storyline.
Yeah.
A horrifying thing that she's going through.
Yeah.
And
do you know Big Ed yet?
The gas station. Yeah. So he's pretty pivotal right now.
Yep.
And even Detective Cooper, he's like this off the wall goofball, but also kind of like a not Shakespearean. Well, I guess you could say it's kind of Shakespearean, but Sherlock Holmesian character.
Yeah.
It's just all of these elements.
Yeah.
Like it's so
it's a gumbo.
I don't know how right now how they got all of these plates spinning at the same time. I'm just like, I'm enthralled by every storyline.
There is nothing like Twin Peaks. And I think it's set up perfectly as far as like the way the seasons go. Because there's only 2 original seasons, and then way later, like 3 years ago or so, they came out with the Showtime miniseries event. That is the 3rd season.
Yeah.
And then there's a movie in between. But the movie itself is a prequel.
Right.
So the way it's set up is like easy mode, medium, hard.
Okay.
So I think you're good to keep watching in the way that you are. Let me know when you get to the movie after season 2.
Okay.
That's usually when people watch it. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm sure there are people online that are like watch the movie after a certain episode or something, but I think it works the way it was shot.
I'm gonna get through the show.
Yeah, get through the show and then watch the movie. Let me know when you watch the movie, because like I wouldn't mind watching it too if you want to watch it.
Okay.
And then the Showtime show, I would love nothing more than to talk to you after every episode to see what your read is on it, because I watched it as it came out.
Yeah.
So
did they do it weekly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Episodic every week.
Nice.
But in this one, like, famously, David Lynch lost control of the show after the beginning of season 2. So it kind of goes off the rails a bit, and then he comes back in the end, and you can tell like the quality suddenly picks right back up where it was. And then he obviously did the movie, and then after that, the Showtime show he had complete control over. Yeah. So it is like hardcore David Lynch. Yeah. Like, what? What? Basically the entire season, but it all ties up in a really interesting way. And like I said, I mean, you may leave it angry, whereas I was like, well, he hurt me good. I like that. That's nice. That's nice.
Dude, I hate that. I'm going to keep going because I'm so captivated, but God damn it, I hate that.
Yeah. If only just to have the pleasures of seeing it aesthetically with the music and Asian Dale Cooper is one of the best characters in all of TV ever of all time. He's up there on the Mount Rushmore for me. So just enjoy that performance.
Mount Rushmore of TV characters?
It's a big question. Columbo?
Really? I did not expect that.
Oh my God, Columbo. Wow. Fantastic, yeah.
Okay, sure, okay.
Dale Cooper.
Are we just doing TV cops?
I mean, maybe. Because I was going to go with like a Law and Order cop after that.
Yeah. Jerry Orbach's character?
Jerry Orbach for sure, yeah.
What was he, detective? God damn it, I can't remember his character's name.
It is Briscoe. Lenny Briscoe.
Fucking, that's just such a... Whoever came up with
perfect
that.
Cop name.
It's a perfect
cop name.
I mean, that shit is...
Lenny Briscoe.
Served up, fried, ready to go.
Yep.
Lenny Briscoe. Yeah, Detective Lenny Briscoe. That's 3. Cooper, Briscoe, Columbo. You need one more.
Ooh, that's a big one then.
Yeah.
The fuck did I do?
I knew. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
What's his name?
Fuck. What is his name? I know the actor's name. We always know the actor's name.
Yeah.
It's Dominic West.
Yeah.
Is the actor.
McNulty.
Another iconic.
Jimmy McNulty.
That's such a cop name. Mm-hmm. Jimmy McNulty. I gotta one up you on the Law and Order cop. I love Jerry Orbach. He's an icon. He's the best, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta go Vincent D'Onofrio, right?
Yeah.
He's the only thing that kept Criminal Intent afloat. That show is awful without him. Whenever he's not, when they brought in, all due respect to Jeff Goldblum, he's amazing. We love the Goldblums here.
Yep.
That show sucks with Vincent D'Onofrio not on it. It's not a good show.
We've agreed that Vincent D'Onofrio is criminally underrated. Yeah.
Guy does not get his flowers, not nearly enough.
Nope.
Columbo, man, that's a good one. It's so classic. It's so like, how are you going to argue against Columbo?
You feels like, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like our generation hasn't really been exposed to Columbo.
No,
I only know Columbo because of my dad. My dad watched Columbo. He's a big fan of Columbo. And now they have it like on TV. Like you can just stream it on demand or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I've caught up on a few Columbo episodes, and like the show is dated clearly, but there's so much talent that worked on that show. Like Spielberg did an episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and there's tons of really good writers that like kind of got their chops on that show, and like it was great. And Columbo as a character is just iconic. If you don't know, check it out. It's like it's strange because the format of it's basically like a mini movie.
Yeah.
Every week you have like I think it was like an hour 20 or something like that.
Which is weird for that time period to do that.
So yeah, this is like a pre-HBO world. So you're not having like these cinema level TV shows. So it's a procedural, but
that's a production.
Yeah.
An hour long drama that's a drama. That's a production.
Yeah.
I had this weird time period where I thought I was supposed to catch up on all those shows just to like have that knowledge. Mm-hmm. So for a while I just watched like Different Strokes and Gilligan's Island and like I Love Lucy and like Nick at Night was showing all of them. Yeah. This was before Nick at Night was like, we got to be cool. We're just going to show Fresh Prince all the time.
The generation passed.
Yeah. Before that, all they did was show like MASH and like just and shows like that. So like I started watching those, and then when I was like 14 or 13, John Young, shout out to John Young, local legend around here. He made a beat for a couple of us, and he sampled the Columbo theme song. And at the time, I didn't know what the fuck it was. I just thought it was like a really dope sample that he did. And then I asked him like, what is this?
This sounds old.
And he's like, it's from an old TV show. And so that's what got me to watch a couple of episodes. So like that's why I have that frame of reference for it.
Yep.
I did not expect you to come up with Columbo.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Peter Falk.
Yeah,
I love Peter Falk. Everything he's done, I wish he was in more stuff.
Yeah,
just so I could watch him in it.
He needed to be in more
I
stuff.
love
awesome.
Peter Falk. Yeah. Love him.
Trying to think. More TV cops. Best TV cops.
There's so many.
Yeah,
that it's hard to even say.
I don't want to keep saying Law and Order cops because there's so many of them that like you could pick from.
David Caruso.
Wow.
CSI Miami.
Yeah. That's
the glasses.
Is he up there Mount Rushmore level, or is he just really entertaining? Is he just really fun to watch?
I think he's fun to watch because you almost hate watch him because it's just so over the top.
Oh, well, I guess he's not a cop. I was gonna say the dude from the original CSI, Las Vegas, older dude, the guy who was in Manhunter.
Oh yeah,
but he's like the lead CSI guy. He's not actually a cop.
True.
So he wouldn't count technically. Huh. We're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to come back on this one because I want to do this. I want to do straight up Mount Rushmore
Top
TV.
Cops.
Top Cops.
Yeah.
Or we just do. We could do that and then best TV characters. Mount Rushmore of TV characters. Because in my head, the first thing I thought was like Homer Simpson has to be in my Mount Rushmore. I don't know why. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought of, but I was like Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. When I think about all of the TV characters that could be in there, who's in mine? But Homer Simpson, for some reason, just like
I think it's respectable. I think it's respectable off bat.
Right.
But speaking of sitcoms,
speak on it. Speak on it.
There's been a new show that's subverted the genre on Disney Plus that we've both been watching.
I love subverting the genre.
It's called WandaVision. So we, like I just said, we've both been watching it. If you haven't caught up to at least episode 4 out now, 5. You haven't caught up to episode 5. By the time you're listening to this, episode 6 is out. So we don't know about that yet. But
I'm gonna put a big spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Right there.
Right here. What do you think so far?
I am. I'm honestly, dude, like episode 3, I was like, okay, I got it. I got it's a TV show in her head. She's created this reality. She's grieved. Like, I got it. Okay. Can we move on for a little bit? And then the minute I started having those feelings, they were like, all right, we hear you. We're going to move on.
Okay, fine.
We're going to move on.
Impatient ass.
So, yeah, right. So, I mean, honestly, if the show was built around each episode, what we're going to do is do a parody of that era of TV shows. So 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Every decade, yeah.
Then I would have been like, okay, if that's like the show, I get it. And I'm into it.
Which, mind you, is what I was expecting.
Well, that's what they kind of led it up to.
Which
I would be down for. If that was the show, and then we kind of get like pieces. But I knew
there was something else.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm getting itchy. I need to know what else is going on. Give me something. Throw me a bone.
Yeah.
Okay. And they do. And let me just say, I told you this when we were texting about it, but the show is just so the core of the show is so incredibly sad that every single scene is dripping with this grieving just mood that is like it's hovering over everything in the show, and it makes me so sad.
I love it.
and I do too.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I don't enjoy it, but I like that they've been able to do this.
It's
with
rich.
The show.
Yeah. The thing it does for me, because I completely agree, it drapes the show in this sort of like impending doom in a way, and like as this overall sadness. It's like having a dream about someone who died. You know,
that's like the perfect way to describe it,
because it's going to end, and any happy moment that happens within the show, isn't real. So it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, we have the kids, the twins are there.
And they've grown up. They're like 10 years old right now.
Right. And you see them making a little family together. Obviously, at this point, Vision is starting to be like, something's up here. I don't know what, but something's off.
Yeah.
His memory's wiped, so he's completely, vulnerable to Wanda. And it's just, you feel her grasping at the straws, and just trying to hold on to anything solid, but there's nothing there.
Yeah,
because ultimately, I think she knows this is all going to end.
Yeah,
and especially at this, I feel like we're at a pretty pivotal point of the season where, she's realizing that the castle's crumbling now. So I'm interested to see where they take it, but talking about our expectations ahead of time, I'm so glad I didn't come in expecting to really be as enthralled by it as I am. Because genuinely, I went into it really like, even the name and like looking at some of the photos that came out of it beforehand, I'm like, why do I care?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Vision fan. I'm not a huge Scarlet Witch fan. Them as characters within the MCU, like, they played their part, but I'm not attached to them at all. Like, I don't care about these people. And then I started watching it, and first of all, it's nice to have some more MCU content and get that progress going and see the world that they built, post snap and all that stuff. So they got me in with that. And then as the facade started to crumble, I'm like, oh, I'm really invested now. This is exactly what I'm looking for out of this entire thing. And yeah, I mean, they subverted my expectations in a very good way.
That scene where we get introduced to Photon, and when she gets snapped back, and the hospital is just pure chaos. Yeah. And she finds out that her mom's been dead for like 3 years or 2 years or whatever.
The cancer came back.
Such a good way, because that, like you were saying, like kind of explaining or showing the world post snap. There's so much that they can do with that. I mean, that's an entire universe in and of itself. I mean, outside of the superheroes, you can show like how much. I mean, they dance around it a little bit in Endgame of like the world that we're living in. I mean, I know in Endgame, when they snap everybody back, it was kind of a cheap device, because in Infinity War, if you watch
it's a Deus Ex Machina,
exactly,
it solves everything all of a sudden,
and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So everything before that just kind of didn't matter, which kind of sucks.
But it does.
Exactly, it does. And
there are still consequences.
That's what's so smart about what they're doing, and that's what. From Infinity War to Endgame, you're kind of like, okay, so you've kind of made Infinity War obsolete. You have to give us a reason to care going forward.
Yeah.
And this is a good starting point to make people care about this world.
And it does exactly what I was talking about, I think last episode or the episode before, talking about my idea for a Godzilla movie. It takes us from that superhero level or that Godzilla level of monsters fighting each other to the ground level, where all of us are around, and the impact that all that has on us as people, just ordinary people.
Yeah.
And I think that's super powerful, because suddenly now looking back at those movies, at the last Avengers movies, it's like that carries more weight.
Yeah.
Because you're not just seeing it from this little group of superheroes that you've grown to love, but you feel the impact of the entire world. This didn't just happen to them, it happened to everyone. Like you said, they touched on it with Endgame, seeing Steve like in a support group trying to help people out with missing people, but I think this hammers it home a bit more personally.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like they, not only in that, but in adding this character that I didn't even realize at first, I didn't connect the dots until like the next episode, that this character was from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
The little girl in Captain Marvel.
It took me a second to put that together.
I was like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. So, I wasn't a huge fan of the Captain Marvel movie, but this enhances it. Same thing with like the original Thor movies with the Doctor now.
Yeah,
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings, Jan something.
Yeah, so they're, and then also the agent,
Randall Park.
Randall Park.
We know the actors' names, dude. We
don't know the characters. We know their actual names. Yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, Randall Park's character. He's from a ton of other of the other MCU movies too. The Ant-Man and Wasp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Adding these side characters from kind of side movies within the MCU, I feel like a lot of them aren't the best. They're good, they're fine, but not the best movies of the entire series, strengthens those movies.
Yeah. Because
you get more insight, and those matter more now because you see what happens to those characters later on,
right,
and how they impact this smaller story, and it makes you care more about those things.
Yeah.
Just like even like Endgame made Thor Dark whatever
World.
Yeah, matter more.
Yes.
You know, so like I'm loving what these franchises are doing to their weakest links in hindsight.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's a great idea, and they should keep doing that. So yeah, I mean, so far it's knocking it out of the park for me. I had lower expectations for it, and I think that's why it's rating so high for me. Mm-hmm. But even as it stands, I think they're doing really interesting things. You know, growing up watching a lot of the classic sitcoms also helps too.
Yes.
Where like
kind of brings us back to
exactly. So you can connect the dots of like, oh, this is I Love Lucy. Or, you know, this is
Full House, or
right. This is Growing Pains.
Yeah.
So that helps, but it's not necessary to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes beyond that.
Oh, and you get it. You don't need to have those shows as a frame of reference to understand, like, oh, it's like a old TV show. I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to watch those shows.
And genuinely scary jump scare.
Yeah.
With the dead vision.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Did you try again? That was scary too.
Siri, no.
Okay.
That okay sounded kind of pregnant.
Yeah,
I don't know
right. Like, what was that about? Do you want to talk? Bitch.
You got a problem? Yeah.
Yeah, super genuine jump scare.
And the entire unknowing of before we really get more information on what's going on, it's really like nightmarish. You know, like it's dream like, actually kind of like Twin Peaks in a lot of moments. Not where you're at yet, but it gets to there.
Yeah.
Where there's a crack in the normalcy, which is the scariest thing to me. Like there's just something wrong. Everything should be normal, but it feels like this is an alien's interpretation of what normal should be. You know, there's just something something's off. Something.
Why is this so weird?
It's too normal.
It feels so weird.
Yeah, it's too normal.
Yeah.
So I really like that feeling of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Who's at play? You know?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like, how are they going to continue this show? This doesn't seem like a season 3 or season 4 kind of show. This seems like a limited run.
I don't think it's planned to be. I think it's going to be a limited run series.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to afford fucking Paul Bettany and
which okay. Well, I just want to say it right here and now. Paul Bettany knocking it out of the park.
Oh yeah, you said that you weren't really that big a fan, right? Didn't you say that you were like, he?
I don't remember. I don't remember going, he.
No. Okay, you didn't say that, but you said something to the effect of like, you know, whatever. I mean, he's Paul Bettany. I mean,
I could have said that. I will not justify me saying that. But if I were to have said that, this is my OJ book. If I were to have said that,
if I criticized that actor,
it would have only been because I didn't see him in enough. Because I haven't seen many Paul Bettany films.
I strangely have seen a lot of them.
You're a richer man for it.
I just don't know why. I mean, I've seen Priest, and obviously we've seen the Da Vinci Code, and
yeah, that's true.
Like I've just seen him in a lot of stuff. I'm like, why does he keep popping up in my life?
Well, I saw a tweet about this that was pretty interesting. It's like, imagine being Paul Bettany being asked to voice a computer like in 2005. You know?
Right.
Like
what that.
Sure. And then suddenly it becomes this actual role where you're in the movies. Physically, you're in the movies. And then now you have a TV show dedicated to your character.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think, but you have to think they had to have been like a couple steps ahead. Like at some point we're gonna bring you in. He's too handsome. He's too shredded for them to just be like, I mean, you're just going to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
Like,
great voice, though.
Great voice.
Yeah.
Got to give him that.
Yep.
Great voice. And Elizabeth Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? You know?
Right.
Who knew the third Olsen sister is like, oh, I'm going to, your powers combined.
Jackpot.
You can't, I'm Scarlet Witch for a reason. I'm the most powerful Avenger. Like you.
Third time's the charm.
Oh, she's amazing. She's fucking amazing.
Especially that they let her drop the accent.
Yeah.
Which comes back a little bit when she's talking about her brother.
Apparently, that is a conscious choice. Did you read this?
No.
That is a conscious
Sounds like bullshit.
choice. Yeah, it is bullshit. So apparently, this is how it was written and how I read it in some article. She has stopped with the accent intentionally. She has been taught by Natasha Romanoff to hide the accent as a way to blend in with American culture.
Okay.
So that's why
being a witch, might be a detriment to that.
The
inclusion,
the witch part doesn't help.
Yeah.
But if she's wearing normal clothes,
sure,
clothes that make her look like she's from Full House with the hair and everything,
sure,
she can have an American accent.
That makes sense, yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
So that's why the accent comes back when she's like angry and shit. Yeah. Because at that point she has broken character. Yeah. And she's back to how she was.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So there you go.
Speaking her brother's name, I figured
that part you're like, right, exactly.
And then we can't stop this topic.
Double spoiler alert.
we cannot end this topic without talking about the major twist.
Man.
We find out that they're introducing an X-Man into the MCU for the very first time on this TV show.
Dude, what a genius way to do it.
Incredible.
What a genius way to do it.
We get the Quicksilver from the Days of Future Past timeline.
Yeah.
As opposed to the MCU Quicksilver.
Right.
I mean, jaw drops.
It's so good. It's so good. Because if you're keeping up with this stuff, that they acquired 20th Century and a bunch of other shit. But 20th Century is the biggest thing because that has all of those outlier properties where you're like, how are they going to introduce Deadpool, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, right? And when they acquired 20th Century, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Finally, they have that company that has the rights to those things. Now it's just the talk. It's just the talk. Mm-hmm. It's just the clock, the ticking clock of when they're going to start introducing these characters.
And
so I read an article about Deadpool. Deadpool 3 is going to be in the MCU. Yeah. And it's going to be R-rated, first R-rated movie in the MCU, which bringing it to another thing that we might talk about, Mahershala Ali in Blade that helps. As long as this MCU Deadpool movie does well, which it will because it's the third movie and Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds and blah blah blah. Yeah. Right, it's gonna do numbers. R-rated MCU movie that will open the door for Blade to be R-rated, and that'll open the door for Morbius to be R-rated.
Too late.
It's not R-rated.
Morbius is already like
PG-13.
I'm pretty sure it's in the can already.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I know. It's zero hope for Morbius. Honestly, it seems like it's going to be another Venom that just kind of Venom that just comes. It sounds like a phone vibrating.
Can we talk? I mean, for a second, can we talk about like Jared Leto? Jared Leto has only been good in a handful of things, and yet he is held to this reverence as if he's fucking Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude, he has like 3 good roles, and then people treat him like, dude, have you seen Jared Leto in this thing? It's like, yeah, I've seen it. Not that good.
Yeah,
I mean, he's good. He's a good actor. Dallas Buyers Club is a fantastic movie. He's incredible in that. Requiem for a Dream. He's incredible in that. Yep. But okay, he's not that good. That's all I'm saying. He's just not. He's not that good for people to be like. To have the kind of confidence in Jared Leto.
Pretty good at acting like he has any musical talent.
Oh, right? 30 Seconds to Mars sucks.
Suck it. You're too pretty.
Fucking movie. Any movie you're in sucks. And that band sucks and you are too pretty. How dare you?
There's a couple good 30 Seconds to Mars songs. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, you'd have to show them to me, honestly. I mean, there probably are.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think about his career trajectory. To think like he was just that guy who was on MTV. You see these, I was like, fuck this song. Then he's an Oscar-winning actor.
He is, I think he was born too handsome to fail. You know? Like, at anything.
He
apparently has like a cult now or something.
Yeah. He's got a weird fan base.
It's wild.
there are some actors who are too handsome.
Yeah.
They're too handsome.
Yep.
Let me I'll give you an example. I'll tell you, look this guy up. I'll put him on screen too.
Okay.
But he was the guy in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, that classic.
And yeah. Okay, I'm going to say something here right now, okay?
Okay.
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is a legitimately good movie.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And I'll fight people over it.
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, obviously not as good, but still entertaining enough that it's a decent sequel. It gets over the hump of fuck this movie. It's enough that you're like,
Okay.
I'll watch that. You know, if it's on TV, it's like, yeah, I mean, you know, fuck it.
Dumb
Fuck
fun,
it.
yeah.
I'll watch that movie. Where's this guy? He doesn't even get top billing.
I pulled up the cast list.
Eric Winter.
I was going to say Rob Corddry, but
I mean, he's a close second.
You got to put both of them up on the screen.
Close second. Yeah. But
Eric Winter.
Look at
Colton.
Look at Eric Winter.
Oh my God, yes.
Just handsome at a level that's like, oh, you can't do anything else.
His headshot, his eyes are piercing.
Oh, piercing. I mean, fuck me. Eric Winter, fuck me.
No, seriously.
Fuck me.
Fuck me. He was apparently in Days of Our Lives. He looks like a soap star.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And he's been in other things where you're like, oh man, you just can't get over the fact that you are so goddamn handsome. It's too much.
Yeah. He's apparently on a TV show called The Rookie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a procedural.
Yeah.
Police procedural. Speaking of cops.
Where he shows up and you're just like, oh, wait. Yeah, that's the show with
Nathan Fillion.
Yes, Nathan Fillion. Yes.
Yep.
He plays a guy who becomes a cop in his like 40s.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And
just pull it up.
Okay. So Eric Winter's in that. Of course, he's like the perfect cop in the show. And I assume he is the folly to
Nathan
Fillion's character.
Makes sense.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Anyway, fuck, I don't know how we got there.
All things end in Nathan Fillion.
They always do.
I think we were talking about X-Men.
Yes.
And you were making the connection between Deadpool getting an R rating and
that's how we got there. 6 degrees of separation, baby.
But yeah, so we got Evan Peters is the actor.
Yes.
As Quicksilver, as opposed to Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was also Kick-Ass.
Also another guy who, after he got out of his like dorky stage, another dude where you're like, you're too goddamn handsome. Holy shit.
You're stunning. Yeah.
I mean, him as Quicksilver, you're like, how dare you guys kill him off in that movie? How dare you? He was one of those characters that they killed off for an emotional moment for Scarlet Witch's character.
But we didn't have enough time with him to care.
Exactly.
He needed to be in just as a side part in another movie before this.
We needed to care. And when he died, it was like, oh, okay,
fine. Because before, other than like the quick cameo at the very end of the post-credits scene of whatever movie it was, they were bad guys at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, exactly. In Age of Ultron, for the first like 30 minutes of the movie, they're the villains.
Yeah.
Then they cross over, and by the time we hit the end, it's like, oh yeah, were we supposed to like, okay, they match him up with Hawkeye, who is arguably another character that no one really gives a shit about. Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So you match him up with a guy that we don't care about, and then we're supposed to care about his death. It's like, you really set him up to fail, man. Yeah. You set him up to fail. And then the problem with that is now every motivation that Scarlet Witch has is predicated on us giving a fuck about him.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you took everything from me. And it's like, okay, yeah, he killed your brother, or your brother died or whatever, and then he stole, or he ripped the fucking... By the way, I just want to say, I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast before, but we talked about way, way back when these movies were coming out.
Yeah.
When Thanos gets introduced, and we're fans of the comic book, so we know what's coming. He has the Infinity Gauntlet, or what do they call it in a comic book? Not the Infinity Stones. They call them in something else. It doesn't matter. But we know at some point he's got to rip that fucking Mind Stone out of Vision, right? We just know that he has to. I mean,
it's obvious.
It's super obvious.
As soon as he came out of that little crypt with the thing on his head, you're like, that's gone.
Yeah, it's getting ripped out of his
because they had already established Thanos as a thing.
Yes.
So we know what's going to happen.
So we know at some point it doesn't.
Infinity
I don't know what
Gems
movie
is what it was called.
Yes, the gems. So I just want to say, like, we talked about it a long, long time ago, and I was giddy when he ripped it out of his head. I was giddy. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Yep. I was not sad. I was like, this is awesome. He's tearing it out of his fucking skull.
Yeah.
He just fucking crushes his fucking. It was amazing. I love that scene.
And that's the thing, though. Like, they totally nerfed Vision.
Yeah.
In that entire movie.
He
gets stabbed by that little space demon guy.
Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to believe that that's a mortal wound to a robot.
Yeah. And then the entire movie's about trying to save him. And then ultimately just gets murked terribly.
Yeah.
And then again.
They do it twice. You're like, fuck me. You guys really didn't like this guy.
Which again underlines the sadness of WandaVision.
Yes, it brings us back to... Yes.
Right. Because it's like you go through all that and, again, Wanda, not a character I really care for. She's fine. She's an okay addition, but, like, she's not up there with Captain America or, Tony Stark, or
even fucking Ant-Man, honestly.
Yeah, like I don't care. I don't care about her, but they've made me care.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she has this depth, and she's so human, and I get where she's coming from, and I'm afraid of her power.
Yeah,
because I know she's pissed off. I saw an article briefly that said, like, this is the best Dark Phoenix adaptation that we've got.
I like that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And it's like, I get that. Like, her powers are scary.
Yeah.
They've made her intimidating, and you don't mess with her because, like, her love has been taken from her after, her brother was taken from her. That's all she had.
Well, and I keep reading these articles about the strongest Avengers in the universe, right? You get Thor, Captain Marvel, Hulk, and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And there's always like a play between, is it Captain Marvel? Is it Scarlet Witch? Is it Thor? It's usually between Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch.
Mm.
And you read these articles and it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Until now, this show is kind of exemplifying like how powerful she really is.
And they haven't really shown it in the MCU up until this point.
Yeah. Other than that moment where she saves Vision and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's all for naught, to your point.
Right.
Other than that scene, what is the evidence that she's one of the most powerful Avengers in the MCU?
Well, and what was it in? Was it in Civil War? Were they in Civil War? Was that the movie I was thinking of before Age of Ultron? Where
Civil War is
where they all get mind infected by her and start punching each other.
No. That's Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That is the big plot point.
Yeah.
She does that.
Right.
But they only fight
power.
each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like in Civil War where they have a big fight scene.
Right.
It's only a couple of... They're in Wakanda. They fight each other there a little bit. She takes control of Hawkeye.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I was bringing that example up as like, oh, she's powerful. She can control the most powerful of the Avengers.
Yeah.
But it wears off, and like, she never really does that to that extent again.
Right. That's the whole thing with why we... That was the movie that introduced the Hulkbuster armor, and she does it to the Hulk, and he goes into that city, and he ravages the city, and then we get the big fight scene with the Hulk and the Hulkbuster, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
But that was because of her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to your point, again, that's exemplifying how powerful she really is. But again, we only see flashes of that. So it's like, you're telling me she's the most powerful Avenger. What I'm seeing is the only one... Captain Marvel fought Thanos and put up a good fight. Almost beat him. She's the one flying from planet to planet. She's kind of OP right now.
Which also, I'm so glad they kind of shit on her in this episode or this season.
Yeah.
Where like she's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but I want to talk about that bitch.
Yeah. Because she disappeared. She went away.
Yeah. So leave her in the past. Leave her in the past.
Yeah.
I did read something that was saying like they might explore that a little bit more. That her mother's cancer. They're like, did she cause it? Right, and she like the radiation
taking her to
from
space,
her power. Right, did that fuck her up? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's a lot of you could do a lot of shit with that. So that's fun. But all in all, I mean, so far, they're doing a just every time you think, well, how are they going to follow this?
Yeah.
They're like, we got another ace.
We got it.
We got another ace. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so all that being said, I can't help but think about what they could possibly do with Daredevil.
I mean, yeah, dude.
If they were to have that budget, that level of connectivity to the greater story, like
even if you don't do a Daredevil movie, you just continue the show.
That's what I'm talking about. Is doing it all over again, like doing another MCU like street level story where occasionally like we'll have one episode in the season where Tom Holland comes in and is like, "Hey, I'm Spider-Man. What's up?" Dude. You know?
Oh god.
Just one.
That is so that's so exciting.
He's on set for like 5 hours, like that's all you need.
Thinking about a live action version of the Spider-Man TV show that is also on Disney Plus, by the way. If you want to nostalgia hard with
and get really disappointed about how shitty
poorly done that show
all of the cartoons you loved as a child were.
They're so bad.
Except for Batman the Animated Series, which holds up.
Which is so incredible when you think about when we talk about why these shows are so good. Like when you watch that side by side with the X-Men animated series or the Spider-Man animated series, and you watch Batman, you're like, dude, this is leaps and bounds better.
They had to have adults in mind when they made that series.
Yeah,
it had to be along the lines of like when they were making Spawn or something.
Yes,
like just an adult mindset. Not talking about Spawn right now, but an adult mindset. But also accessible to kids because it's Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like make it accessible, but also like there are deeper themes at play here.
I mean, I would even argue that they failed in making it a viable show for kids. I think they failed in that regard because I think they focus so it's not as dark as obviously Spawn. Spawn has like brutal murders and like rape and like all kinds of fucked up
I think the
shit.
first episode somebody gets shot with like an Uzi.
Yeah, and their face gets like torn to bits and it's bloody and gross and awesome.
And it gets dragged to hell.
It's it's awesome. That show's awesome.
Wanda.
So it's not on that level, but I would venture to say like you would have to at least be a teenager to get some of the themes that they're going for. Even with them being kind of goofy with the show, I think that it's not goofy enough that kids will watch it and just see Batman swinging from stuff and beating people up and be like, Batman's awesome. I mean, that's what we did when we were kids.
Sure.
But to really, really appreciate that show, you would have to be at least a teenager to go, I get what they're doing.
It was the perfect cartoon to watch with your older brother.
Yes.
Because that's what happened with me. Like my older brother and my older cousin, they'd watch Batman and I would just tag along and watch it anyway too. And I'd be like, that's cool. It's Batman. Oh, look, it's Croc, and be like, cool. But, I feel like they were watching it because they got it on that slightly higher level than I was capable of at the time.
Yeah.
So.
All right. WandaVision, incredible. Is there any other show that there's no other shows that work?
No, we just have some trailer trash.
So this is exciting. Guys, this is really exciting. And we're gonna I mean, we might get into the 2-hour mark on this one.
Oh my god.
But you guys need to understand something. Okay, we're gonna watch 2 trailers, right? Just the 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, if you haven't seen it, go watch it right now so you can kind of follow along with us. We're gonna watch the Marvel's Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, kind of going along with the theme. But then the next trailer, boy howdy, am I excited. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's watch this first. We'll be right back. Wow. So that was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a clunky title. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Is it Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Maybe it's Falcon.
I don't think it's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, I think his character name is just Falcon. It's not the Falcon. He's just Falcon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. I don't want no trouble.
Hey man, let me say this right now.
Okay.
Anthony Mackie is awesome. He's always awesome. Everything he's in, he's awesome.
He's awesome in everything he's in.
Always.
Yeah.
And Altered Carbon shouldn't have been canceled. Let me just say that.
Okay.
He's
hashtag Altered Carbon
shouldn't
have been canceled. Rolls off the tongue.
He's so good. He's so good in everything.
Yeah.
Everything he touches, it's like, this guy brings a level of charisma and a level of seriousness. He's believable as an action star. He's believable as a comedian. He's just so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yep.
Except for when he played Tupac. Other than that, he's so good.
We know there's only one actor for Tupac, right?
Who's that?
The guy from
his hologram?
No, that's actually Tupac.
No.
He was there.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the guy.
Sticky Fingers?
Not Sticky Fingers. Not Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers should not be replacing anyone.
Come on.
That especially includes Blade.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. I forget his name.
No. Oh, the dude who played him in his biography.
I forget if that's him. No, the guy that was in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh no, dude, he played MC Hammer.
Same rapper.
Yeah.
Same rapper.
Same era-ish.
Same guy.
Romany Malco.
Romany Malco, that's his name. And
he's incredible too. He's not in nearly enough stuff.
You telling me he wouldn't be a good Tupac?
Oh, I think for sure he'd be a good Tupac.
Yeah.
I think he's yeah.
Okay. I just need that validation.
Yeah. The guy who played him in the All Eyes on Me autobiography or whatever, the equivalent to Notorious, he looks just like him. It's uncanny.
Yeah.
But just nobody can.
Mannerisms.
You just can't. It's hard because how often do you see a movie based or a movie made based on an actor? Yeah. It's one thing to base it on, like you can base it on enigmatic characters who you don't know, but when you have a screen presence like Pac had,
right, and
then to turn around and try to match that, it's an impossible task.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
You can't do it.
Yeah, it's
actually that reminds me. I recently watched the movie Mank. Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
For award, I watched it specifically because of award season, and I was like, I gotta see what's going on here with Mr. Old Man.
Mr. Old Man.
And
You're old man.
Yes, and first of all, great movie. I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I think a lot of people had an issue with it that aren't film people because it's a very filmy movie. About it's something that like La La Land was criticized about, which is like, of course it's going to get all of the awards because it's a movie about making movies.
Yeah, and Hollywood loves to nominate.
Oh, they just jerk themselves off all day.
Yeah. Remember old Hollywood?
I loved it. But that what you said brought this to mind about that movie. Oh, it's Burp O'Clock.
I know, seriously.
What's going on? Unstoppable. But what you were saying actually brought this to mind, which is they have an actor playing Orson Welles within the movie because the movie's all about how Citizen Kane was written.
Oh, is that what it's about?
Yeah, one of the writers of Citizen Kane was the last name was Mankiewicz. He went by Mank.
Oh.
So it's the Oldman is playing Mank.
Okay.
And he's this alcoholic who, kind of made so movies before. But he's just this writer who's really charismatic, and it's the story about how he wrote this all-time classic of a film.
Yeah.
That ended up being like his greatest achievement, basically.
His magnum opus.
Yes. So it's a really interesting movie. I mean, Gary Oldman, knock it out of the park.
Always does.
Incredible. Mm-hmm. He deserves any award he gets for that movie.
Yeah.
But they have this guy, his name's Tom Burke, who plays Orson Welles.
Tom Burke.
I haven't heard of him before, but
show him to me.
He
nope, never seen him.
So
he does look like Orson Welles, though.
He does. I was gonna say though, he has the voice down packed, but within the movie, for some reason, the perfection of the voice almost took away from the physical appearance, and it made me go, "You're not Orson Welles."
Like it's an uncanny valley kind of impression.
You notice all of the differences in their face, and I'm like, "You sound just like him," but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Interesting, because when I see that, I'm like, he's got those weird eyes, the way Orson Welles has, and he's got the fat face,
the kind of chubby face.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's not to be a detriment to the movie itself. Definitely check it out, especially if you're a film nerd like I am.
Mank.
Check out Mank. It's on Netflix. But that reminded me just of that. It's like he didn't quite capture Orson Welles to me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm not used to seeing Orson Welles in the way that he was portrayed in that, which is not on camera and like talking to a writer.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Hey, we have to get this thing done on time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, my mini review for Mank, incredible movie. I love it because it's about a writer, which there are not many movies about.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Okay. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The same type of film.
Exactly the same. It's about a writer who
he's got a deadline,
and
it's to kill Captain Zemo.
I mean, it's one of those trailers that's like, look at how much money we put into this.
Yeah, the effects look incredible.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was, we've passed the prestige TV era, and we're in this era of like movie quality TV shows,
miniseries. Yeah,
they're not like prestige TV was different because it was very obviously a TV show. It was just a high quality TV show, but it was not mistaken for a long movie.
Never.
You knew you were watching a TV show.
It was highly episodic.
Right.
Yeah.
This is different. And WandaVision is in there, and I would even argue Mandalorian is in there, where it's like, this is a movie that's set over like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
This isn't prestige TV. This is we're in a different era.
I would push back a little bit with Mandalorian because it is so episodic.
Okay, I'm thinking more of the
quality,
the quality, than I am the structure of the show. Because I agree with you. Structurally, it is a very episodic show. It's very obviously a TV show.
Yeah.
Quality-wise, it's on a level that's like, this is a movie.
Yeah.
This is a movie. And I think, you could argue that WandaVision is very episodic too. I mean, it's a clear arc, but
literally in the beginning of the season, it is episodic.
So I wonder if they're going to do that with this too. Is this going to be a long movie, or is this going to be episodic in nature and have like an arc to it?
I feel like all of these, including the Loki show that's coming out too after this, I feel like all these are going to be like a big movie.
Yeah.
That's my take on it, is like, there's no way that they'll spend all that money if it's just going to be like baddie of the week, like it's going to be this long, maybe it will be episodic in a way that like Mandalorian is, where there's this through line. throughout the entire thing. There's like an arc, specifically with like Loki, because I see Loki going through like a bunch of different like adventures every episode. Like it's a different location every time or something.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me. But like WandaVision's, it except for the clearly manufactured episodic nature of the beginning of the season, it is a movie. Like you could see that being just like, oh, this is chapter 1 of the movie. This is chapter 2, like Tarantino style,
right.
Ep 1, Ep 2, Ep 3, and then like that breaks at some point, and it just becomes like when Vision walks through the credits and is like, no, I'm not going to stop here. You're not going to make me forget this. Like breaking that fourth wall, I think makes it more of like an overall overarching story that I see this having too. And I mean, with Loki, it's going to have to, all of these are going to have to overall impact the MCU in some way.
Yeah.
Where
that's
we
what
see
I'm
them
interested
in the next movie, chronologically, whatever comes out next, whether that's Thor or Blade or whatever. I think it's probably going to be Thor, isn't it?
I think it's going to be the
Guardians
Immortals
4. Immortals first, then I think Thor.
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
I don't think Guardians is coming for a while.
A couple years. Yeah.
Because
same with Blade though, right?
Yeah,
they haven't even started shooting that.
I don't think they have.
Yeah, they just got their writer for it, so that's at least like 3 to 4 years off.
And Guardians is, I mean, they're pushing that off because of everything that what's his name is doing.
Rocket Raccoon.
James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I think this one is going to be. This one's going to be a little different, just because it has characters that are not as outlier as Wanda and Vision are. I mean, they're two guys who could be main characters if they wanted them to be.
Yeah, which is kind of what we assumed would happen now that Cap's gone. Right?
Yeah,
he passes the baton. Not literally the shield off to
quite literally
off to Falcon. So I think we assumed that we'd have a new Captain America movie as were like, Falcon.
Black guy, ew, I don't,
he's not America.
I want my white guy.
So
overall, I mean, I think there is a level of quality that you've come to expect from any Disney production.
Sure.
So it's like
they've got the money.
Yeah. And they are really throwing their dicks around on this one, for sure.
That Mickey dick.
Yeah. God damn, there's a lot of Mickey dick being thrown around on this production.
Stuck that Mickey dick in the dirt.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, overall, trash or not?
Not trash.
Not trash. Okay. All right. We're going to dive back in because I'm so excited. We are going to watch the world premiere of the Fast and the Furious Part 9, the Super Bowl trailer. This bitch is 4.5 minutes long, and I can't wait. So we'll be right back.
Wow.
I can't.
I want to just keep rewatching that until this movie comes out.
The more I think about it, the crazier it gets. Oh my god, that was fucking Looney Tunes, man. That was bonkers.
Yeah.
What is that movie even about?
I don't care. I don't care. I need all of you to get a vaccine so that we can see this movie in a loud theater with a bunch of people talking through it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Oh, man. Oh, God, that's amazing. All right, look, I know. All right, we just talked for almost an hour and a half about prestige TV and like high quality and blah, blah, blah. Look, okay. But see, this is the duality of the One Beer and Podcast.
Yeah.
You have to kind of turn your brains off every once in a while and just go, I'm gonna take anything that you give to me, Dominic Toretto.
Yep.
Anything that you want.
It's all the way down here.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he could talk really loud.
Quarter mile at a time.
And just turn your brains off for a second and just, you have to, there is no amount of, we can't say anything to describe that trailer. You have to just watch it.
Please watch it, yeah.
I don't even know how to I don't even know how to react. I don't know where I am right now. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how to do I don't know what to say.
So, obviously Fast and Furious spoilers. If you're not up to date, get up to date before you finish this episode.
Seriously.
Okay, so obviously the big reveal that we knew about before is that Han's back, right?
Right.
So canonically, that repairs the Shaw relationship, right? Because if he didn't actually kill him,
right. I see what you're saying.
in cold blood, then yes, we can be friends now, right?
And see, that's cheap because he did kill him in cold blood,
and that's what matters in that movie.
Yeah,
you see that in the post-credit scene where he cold-bloodedly just bam smashes into him. He sees him suffering on the. We have to see Han die twice,
right?
And then he gets on the phone with Dom. And he goes, Dominic Toretto.
Yeah.
And like that matters. That matters so much. And I as much as I love Han, and I love Han. I love that character. He is maybe the best character in such a stupid series of movies. But because of that, you made him your sacrificial lamb. You gave him more time after Tokyo Drift when he figured out you had something special there. You don't want to waste him there anymore.
Boba Fett.
You Boba Fetted him. Mm-hmm. You brought him back in a dumb way, but a way that worked.
Yeah.
You know, with making all these movies actually flashbacks, essentially.
They retconned his life. And in such a way that's like they literally pushed the. There's no way that it was planned for Tokyo Drift to be one of the later films.
No, because the cars in that movie, like you can't say that they were like all period specific and like
right. They were period specific when they came out,
exactly,
and it made perfect sense then.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they like squinted their eyes and were like, you can't see any brand new cars in there,
right?
You know, so. It's all bullshit, but at the same time, like his death mattered and it had gravity because of that.
Yes.
So unlike something like, you know, a WandaVision or another, you know, let's say better narrative. Yikes.
I know, right. Well, watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. That's why the burp came out. It's the evil leaving my body. I'm so sorry.
Tell. It's like, relax now.
Unlike a better storytelling, like this is
again. I don't like your tone.
Unlike storytelling of another ilk.
All right.
Yeah. This feels like they're bringing him back just because they know he's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
It's starting to get into like the wrestling realm where it's like, we're bringing him back out of retirement.
Yeah.
He retired 2 times before and it was a big event both of those times, but bring him on back.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, there's enough silly nonsense within this entire thing that looks like it's still going to be worth the admission.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that to say I'm not going to see this movie. Au contraire, I will be there first day, assuming it's safe to be there. I'm excited for it because the action is what we come for these movies, and it's all there.
You can't say that you're a fan of like mid to late 90s action movies and not love these fucking movies.
Sure.
Right? If you're a fan of any Schwarzenegger movie, any Sylvester Stallone movie, any Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, if you were able to watch those and go, I'll buy this.
This is fine.
You just have to enjoy these fucking movies.
I mean, I think I can speak for both of us and say the holy trinity of these movies is 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Those are the crown jewels of this entire series.
Definitely.
There are some good spots before that. 8's okay, but 5, 6, and 7 are just
that's where they really hit the money.
But the thing is, to truly get all of it, you need to watch all of it.
Yep,
you need to watch all of it.
You know, to your point about retconning characters, I mean, I say this with all seriousness. The only problem I have with this film series is their inclination to do that. When they either bring a character back or when they go, well, this character is cool now because he's super popular, so we're gonna like bring him into the gang. They've done it multiple times, and to the point that it's become like a trope of the movies.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sit right with me because Jason Statham is such a good bad guy.
Yeah.
He's such a good villain. It's criminal
Ah.
to make him part of the gang and make him a good guy, and make him an anti-hero. And same for The Rock. I will die on this hill. Number 5, Fast 5.
Yep.
Is his best acting to date. He did it's his best role, and it's one of the best villains in the entire series.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill. He knocks it out of the park in a way that they'll appreciate this later when they're looking at the canon of his films, and they're all going to be fucking Jumanji movies and fucking Tooth Fairy movies and all that shit. When they look back on his filmography, when he's retired, they're gonna look at Fast 5 and go, "We slept on this role. This was the shit. He really fucking this was a role.
Did something with this one.
He did.
Well, that movie, because I saw it recently. I rewatched it. recently.
How? So
I'm going through the rewatch.
Okay,
now, yeah.
so where are you at right now?
6. Just finished 6.
Okay.
Yeah, just finished 6. And that's why, Han is so fresh in my mind.
I was going to say all this is really fresh for you.
Exactly, yeah. I just saw him die again. And, it's tough because he is such a lovable character, and you treasure the extra time you have with him. But it is just incredibly cheapened by the fact that I know he's coming back now.
Yeah.
That hits so less hard. And that takes away, it's not Owen Shaw. What's his name?
Deckard Shaw.
Deckard Shaw. It takes away his menace so much.
Yeah.
And then knowing, obviously, we have Hobbs and Shaw coming down the pipe and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's like,
all of that removes the teeth of all of the villains.
And at the time, Deckard Shaw is such a perfect foil to Dom.
Yeah.
Because it's all about family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Dom's fighting for his family, Deckard Shaw is fighting for his family,
right?
And they're going at it, and it's just perfect.
And I will even venture to say that outside of our maybe unexplainable love for this film series, that plot point is good. Regardless,
sure,
it's just a good idea.
It is, dare I say, smart.
Yeah. And all of this dumb brawn and bluster.
Yeah,
it is an actual good plot point to have everything focused on Dom Toretto's La Familia,
right?
And then have the villain go, I have the same exact motivation as you do. So what are you going to say to me now?
Yeah.
Your family's not more important than my family, and you took something from me, and now I'm taking something from you. So where do we go from here? That is a conflict that is interesting and on its own.
And we're both street kids.
Right.
Like that. We're both from our own slums.
Right.
And we fought our way up, and now we're going head to head.
I would even venture to say that, obviously for political reasons and for popularity reasons, you get Hobbs and Shaw, but the more compelling movie is Toretto and Shaw.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I guess 6 and 7 are Toretto and Shaw, but I would say that they are more compelling, or 7 and 8. 7 and 8, are more compelling. Their friction is more compelling than Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
They're just two charismatic actors.
Yeah, and they play well off of each other, but the problem is their characters...
they have no reason to...
Right. Yeah, other than a crook and cop getting together and having to deal with that. That's an interesting dynamic, but the way that they've been presented to us, it's not very interesting.
But not only that, Shaw goes... I mean, you start giving him this been there, done that backstory of he's a spec ops agent who went bad because he had to, because of this, that, and you're like, come on, dude.
It weakens it. Yeah.
How many times has fucking Jason Statham played a spec ops agent gone bad?
Yeah.
Who still has a heart of gold and who still saves the damsel in the end? It's like, come on, dude.
He could have just been a bad guy.
Yeah, just let him be
Just
a
make
bad.
him be a bad
He was
guy.
a bad dude. He's a badass, and the reason he killed all those people was because you fucked over my family. Now fuck you. That's it.
In the intro to 7, I'm just remembering off the top of my head. Perfect introduction for him.
Yeah.
That entire thing of him going through the hospital,
and everyone's just like stuck in windows, and
Yeah.
it looks like the hallway scene in Metal Gear Solid when you get introduced to Gray Fox.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all these bodies are everywhere.
Yep.
And yeah. Come on, man.
Perfect.
Throws
Throws a grenade back or whatever and blows up the SWAT team.
It's so good.
Love it.
They do things. They'll. It's 2 step forward and 1 step back. In that series.
But all that being said, this almost 5-minute trailer.
Yeah.
How did it leave you?
I mean, I am so game for this. I want to see it. I want to see it in IMAX. I want
The biggest, loudest theater we can possibly find.
I want to find somebody with like a hookup for anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
And I want to take them. I want to be juiced to the gills.
A little bit of speed.
And I want to go into that theater and I want to tear my fucking hair out.
Huff some
while I'm
nitrous.
watching it. Yes. Go in there with a bunch of nitrous cans and also the Nas energy drink.
Yes.
And just be
pound bowl.
just
Sound like Darth Vader in the back seat.
No breathing, just yeah. I want a full on adrenaline rush. I want my veins to
bulge.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Only for that scenario, though. If I have to watch this on HBO Go or Max, excuse me, I don't want to do it. I want to see this in a theater. This is one of the rare exceptions, and it's strange because I don't like. I feel that way partially for a great Nolan movie, you know. But I would still watch a spectacle like that at home.
Oh, we did.
And we did with Tenet. But this is one of those things like I want to experience with other people. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to see Tenet in a huge IMAX theater, but it's not because of the other people factor. And I feel like the other people factor actually outweighs just the spectacle of seeing it on an IMAX screen for me. Like, I want audience participation in a movie like this. I've seen almost all of the Fast and Furious movies in a theater.
Yeah.
The only one I missed, I think, was 4, which is fine.
I saw 4 in the theater.
I didn't see 4 in theaters. I didn't see 4 in theaters because
I didn't want to.
At the time, I hadn't seen 3 yet, which turned out to be one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. But 2 rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
So I was like, this is getting stupid. Let me back out of this.
Yeah.
But 4 is really where they get serious and we get this new storyline.
Yeah.
But I will say 4 is the only one that wasn't a party. All the other movies you watch are a party in the theater. And I want that experience again.
Yeah.
Every single, even 2.
Honestly, dude, 4 was too. It wasn't, when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, that sucked. But when you get out of the theater, you talk about how much that was like, oh, that wasn't that great, right? But think about, put yourself back into that time frame when 4 came out.
Yeah.
Because you had 2, which was met with mixed reviews.
Sure.
I feel differently about it. We exemplified the mixed reviews.
I will say, though, the 2 shining moments is any interaction with Tyrese and Paul Walker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those 2 guys, I wish we had more interaction between them throughout the entire series.
I don't know why they didn't pair them up more in the later movies. It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like it's a crime that, for some reason, they only pair up Paul Walker and Vin Diesel.
Yeah, and Tyrese and Ludacris.
Yeah.
Why?
No. They don't, I'm sorry, but Paul Walker and Vin Diesel on screen, they butt heads in the first I was going to say episode.
Yeah.
The first movie for a reason, because they are completely different characters.
Right. They are the foil to each other.
So they don't mesh very well. It's kind of boring when they come together. Like it's fine
because what do they do?
And that's it.
Dom, you gotta.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of dull, but like the Tyrese dynamic to the straight man of Paul Walker, it's peanut butter and chocolate.
I said, forget about it, cuz.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. So I will give 2 that.
Yeah. Okay, so let me put you in this place, right? 2, you get that, and people are going like, some people are like, this was fun, I liked it, and you have Ludacris, who like, you know, he had the Louis Vuitton pickup truck, and it was awesome, right? Then you get 3, and 3 is a spinoff, so people are going, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is happening? So Toretto is now out of 2 and 3,
except for the very end,
right? But he's not in the movie. He's not part of the movie. So you've got a universe now where you're like, what's happening right now? What are we doing? Then 4 comes around, and you know how 4 is advertised? We're bringing back Toretto, we're bringing back Michelle Rodriguez, and we're bringing back the sister. I fucking forgot her name.
Brewster. Something.
Yeah,
Brewster.
yeah. It's something. Yes.
It's like Julie or something.
So we're bringing all of them back. We're restarting the series. So number 4 was a huge deal. It was a really big deal.
Yeah.
So everybody ran to the theater to see all of those characters.
I checked out at that point because at that time, because okay, quick history lesson for you. Fast and Furious was my introduction to like tuner culture, not to cars, because I was always into cars, but into like Japanese tuner culture.
Yeah,
as it was most of my generation.
Yeah,
got into it because of that. This culture was going on before that. I think my cousin was more into it at the time too, with actual like Japanese import cars. But that was my kind of like my leeway into it, into being serious about Japanese tuner culture.
Right.
And from then, I started getting the Super Street magazine, looking into cars I want when I get old enough to get it.
Right.
Looking into the top tuner cars, going to the actual like tuner shows. Me and my cousin would go to like some tuner car meets and stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like all that was the introduction to that world to me, basically.
Yeah.
But then once the sort of facade of Fast and Furious wafted away, and part 2 came out, and it was a comic book, basically.
Yeah. Watch your mouth.
Sorry, it's true. I'm not saying it's not entertaining, but it was a comic book. The real tuner guys said it's bullshit. So
sure, I'll give you that. Part 2 is a movie that is a precursor to what they're gonna do later on.
Yeah,
which is a complete departure to.
But 3 brings it back a little bit.
Yeah, because
there is more of a respect paid to actual like drift culture within that. 2 of the old guys that you see fishing while he's training, while future DK is training, and he keeps crashing his Lancer. Those guys are actual like drift legends. Like the old guy I think on the left is actually, his name was DK. Like he was known as the Drift King.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, and actually his life was semi autobiographied into Initial D, the anime.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. All right. I need to watch part 3 again.
Please.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Let me know when you want to.
Yeah. Oh, can I get my Blu-rays back?
Maybe. Oh, we'll see. You can watch it here. But yeah. So that was actually a pull back into semi-realistic tuner culture.
Right.
But then from then it became not about that at all.
Right.
Which is fine. And that's what I prefer, is like, let's not even pretend like we're trying to be true to this subculture.
Right.
Because at that point, by the time 4 came around, I'm like, I don't give a shit about, like, this is cartoon bullshit.
Yeah. I'm
actually into like looking at these magazines, going online and like seeing what the coolest cars are around, and what car I want to tune, and what I want to tune it with, and what what's the turbocharger I want on this thing, and et cetera, et cetera, and getting like really nerdy about it, and I became almost like too good for it.
Yeah.
And then I went, check yourself.
For you, wreck
yourself. And I saw 3, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I like this.
Yeah.
And then 4 came around like after the fact, and I'm like, 5 looked good, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna see 5 in theaters.
Yeah.
And then I saw it in theaters, and I went, okay, I have to watch 4.
Yeah.
And then that's how it went, and then from then on, we started watching them in theaters.
Yes. So I think we saw 6, 7, and 8.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really funny because I didn't see 1 and 2 in theaters. Actually, I don't think I saw 3 in theaters, thinking, there has to be something to it, right? And just thinking like, because I wasn't like like you said. I mean, it was an introduction to a lot of people. It was a lot of people's introduction to tuner cars, and being into that subculture. And a lot of people, once they got over, what is that game? Shit.
Need for Speed Underground?
No, Midnight Run.
Midnight Club.
Midnight Club. But Need for Speed Underground is obviously, that's a big one. Everybody always cites that one. But my game that I actually like Midnight Club more than Need for Speed Underground. I do like Need for Speed Underground a lot.
Yeah.
But Midnight Club for me, there's something about the open world aspect of just driving around.
Find a car to race.
Flash your lights at him and go, what's up, dude? And he's like, let's fucking do this. And you just go, all right, we're doing it. And like something about that is just so fucking dope.
Yeah.
So that was my shit. But anyway, I went to see 4 with my homeboy and a bunch of other people. It was like a big group of us. And it was all a bunch of Puerto Rican people.
It's perfect.
Everybody who was like into cars and shit. And there was some girl that I was trying to hook up with.
Everyone has a Honda Civic.
Of course.
With a muffler on it.
And we all saw 4 together. That was a big deal. And everyone liked it enough for what it was. But I walked out with my critic eye going, it wasn't it.
Yeah.
So then 5 rolls around, and you get introduced to The Rock, and of course we're all like,
The Rock's the X factor in that series.
I mean, he really is.
Yeah,
he really is. He helps turn the corner, and like I just said, I think it's his best performance.
Yeah,
and you watch it, and you're just like, this movie fucks. This movie fucks, dude. Yep. I love this shit. I fucking love every second of that movie.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The vault.
And you're like, this is the best.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the shit before. And you're like, that's good. That's a good thing. Don't fucking go back to that shit.
But it does. It links enough for you to get something out of it if you've seen all the movies.
Yes.
It pays off. It pays off if you've seen those movies. But it's not necessary.
You don't need to have seen them, but if you had,
it adds more to it.
Yes.
And I love that in narrative. I love it.
And then,
I love it.
And then, like you said, that's where we get into 6, 7, and 8 together.
Yeah.
And that's where we get here to present day. Part 9. We haven't even talked about John Cena yet.
No. we couldn't see him.
We could the whole fucking thing. I will say, I mean, okay. We give a lot of liberties to these movies. We let a lot of shit go. That is going to be hard.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say right now, that's going to be a little hard to accept.
John Cena is on your your washing machine, white is white.
White is white.
Whereas Vin Diesel is not.
Vin Diesel is this ambiguous, what is he kind of like? Is he mixed? Is he like how, is he white? Is he Latino? Is he none of those things?
He I think has been labeled in the Fast and Furious series as Mixtino.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be just a mix of black and white, or he could be ambiguously Latino.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if I were to guess, like with no context,
some kind of Italian.
Yeah, I would say
Toretto. What is that?
Italian? That sounds Italian.
Yeah.
So like Italian and Mexican, maybe.
Yeah, or like South Italian.
Something that would give him,
olive skin.
That yeah, and you're like, well, there's no way he's just white.
No, there's no,
he's not Irish.
No. He's not a Cena.
So yeah. So that's already kind of a leap that you're making us do.
Yeah.
With them being they didn't have to be brothers. They didn't have to be brothers.
But I see what they're doing. It's exactly what we were talking about Deckard Shaw being a foil to Dom, because we're talking about family. So they're talking about, oh well, your own family could be against you. And
I just don't.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, but it goes against. It goes against the narrative, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is La Familia.
Sure.
And then his own brother wants to kill him, and you're like, and then the trailer was like, not all family or not all blood is family, and you're like, no, you don't get to betray the whole thing.
Well, and not only that, but I feel like they already played with that in 8. Because it was all about Vin Diesel potentially being against the family.
Right, so they already did this.
They already did that.
Right,
yeah.
yes,
and
exactly.
Not only that, but like Vin Diesel's so about family, right? But we never heard a word about John Cena.
I was gonna say that.
It's gonna be. I can guarantee it's gonna be. We don't talk about him.
Yeah.
He went off.
He moved to Alaska. That's why his skin is so pale.
Yeah, I don't. We don't talk about that guy. He got a nose job
guy.
because he doesn't look anything like us.
Yeah. He's not part of the family.
Right. It's so cheap, and you know they're gonna do that. They're gonna say like, yeah, I don't. He's not really my family.
We were at dinner and he didn't want to drink Coronas.
You wanted a Snapple,
and so he was like, "You're not family.
You're a buster."
Yeah.
The buster brought me home. Yeah, where has he been, dude? Because you want to say that he's his long lost brother, sure, but we've known these characters since they were in their early 20s.
Sure, and
so he has to have been gone.
We know Dom's story, right?
We know
it. We know it top
everything.
to bottom.
Right.
We know it when he was a kid and he saw his dad get in the car accident. He died, and he beat that guy almost to death. And then
socket wrench.
And then from then on, he just became this outlaw, basically.
Yeah.
And since then, he accrued this crew.
Yeah.
And that's where we meet him.
Yeah.
He has a crew, and he works kind of as a mechanic during the day or whatever.
Yeah.
And steals DVD TV sets at night.
Yeah.
Right?
No mention of a brother.
None. Not at all.
So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say he's this long lost brother that maybe he knows about and we don't talk about, or maybe he doesn't know about. Maybe he finds out about in this movie, right? So then the entire narrative of like he's part of the family. Don't you fucking yawn, okay? we're in it for the long haul. Yeah, we're going,
man.
Sure, he's this long lost brother. Okay, then the way that we can justify it is, he's not family. Fuck this guy. I don't know him.
Yeah.
He's off doing his own thing, and I don't know. He's a master thief, apparently.
Assassin.
A master thief and assassin?
Yes.
They said he was a master thief.
They said assassin, too.
So he's a master thief.
They said assassin as he was going down that Thievius Raccoonus zip line.
Yeah. Okay, so he has a brother who is a master thief and a master assassin, and we've only heard about him in the 9th film.
Sure.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
No mention of space. So,
but there is this stealth ship that comes with a magnet.
Yep.
To pick up his car.
That probably that's the thing that gets them to space.
Probably.
Right? Yeah. Maybe it like gets them up there and like drops them
into orbit.
They fucking just the fucking car just gets ripped to shreds.
And then Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez are just flying in the air.
And he catches her and lands on a mountaintop somewhere on his back. And he's fine. She's okay.
He just goes,
and she's still wearing the chain. The chain hasn't like ripped her skin off.
No.
La Familia.
That softens the fall somehow.
Yeah.
So not trash is
not
what you're
trash,
saying. Okay, not trash
not
for
trash,
me too.
Not trash.
I have to go pee.
Okay.
I'll be back.
So let's end it with this. When this episode comes out, it'll be Valentine's Day. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day before we get out of here. I know this is a long one. We haven't done one like this in a while.
Yeah.
You know?
You could say it's been a while. Thank you.
But I'm glad. I like doing the long ones.
It's
Valentine's Day. I like doing the long ones.
Break out the midnight oil.
That's right, baby.
Shall we review this one too?
Yes.
It's another Prosperity joint.
Let's do it.
This is from Prosperity Brewers. Clutch Plate IPA at 7% ABV. It just says taste prosperity.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Chin chin. Ooh, this one's good.
Again, out of Boca Raton.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the podcast before. We've definitely. I love that
They've got Tank on the can.
Oh my god, I love that they don't put him all over the can. They're like, look for him.
There he is.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, they've got Tank on the can. Look out for Tank on the can.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay. Is he in the same spot? Yeah, he's in the same spot. Okay, I love that. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the show. Because we've had to have overlapped with Valentine's Day. How long we've been doing the show?
Sure.
Excuse me. But seeing as this is actually going to come out on Valentine's Day, I wanted to tell a story about my worst Valentine's Day.
Okay. There's one that sticks out to you?
Yeah. I've had a lot of bad ones. This one's the worst though. I want to say 19.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know me, which is most of you, I had a long-term girlfriend in high school, on and off, for pretty much the whole time. And when we went off to college, we broke up. And let me rephrase. She broke up with me. Let me rephrase. I thought we were on a break, and it wasn't a break. It was a break up.
Right.
And I wasn't privy to this knowledge. And I'll tell you something very maybe fuck it. I'll tell it. I don't care. When we were last time we spoke, seriously, I thought we were on a break. It was a break up, and she was like. She was like, I thought we talked about this. I thought we broke up. We're done. And I was like, no, we were on a break. How do you confuse that? I know I didn't confuse that shit. I know for sure I didn't go, and go super casual with it. Cause
this is a Friends episode, you realize.
I'm like, this isn't, that's not how I roll. I'm not going to just kind of be casual about it and go, we'll see what happens, especially not then, fucking high school. And she was like, no, I thought it was a breakup. So she had already moved on and was with some guy.
Sucked so
bad.
Bad.
Dude. Oh no, it was she. I mean, I was shattered. Shattered into a million pieces. I was like, because in my head I was like, it's a break. We'll come back together after
you just
whatever.
Feel so stupid.
I felt like a moron. I felt like such a jackass for I mean it honestly, I mean, I know it's high school, but it's those things that inform everything, honestly. Mm-hmm. In your formative years, you go through a thing and people can call it immature and they can call it young love or what have you, but it doesn't go away. It sticks in the back of your mind. Even when you're like, I'm an adult, I'm over it. I don't think about that time and go, oh, I can't believe that happened to me. I can laugh about it. That's why I can tell this story on the podcast.
Right.
But it does still stick with you where you're like,
sucked.
I'm going to make different decisions because of that. Right? So, okay. Yeah. So she shatters my entire existence. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. And this kind of happened. This fell around Valentine's Day. And so a buddy of mine, he's like, let's go to this party that another friend of mine is throwing. It's at his apartment. It's really cool. A bunch of us will be there. were like 19, 18 at the time, and it's like he's super cool, and he was able to get a hookup on drinks, so there'll be a bunch of fucking alcohol there. It'll be a great time. Mind you, I started drinking and smoking really, really late in terms of how soon people do it. I know people who started fucking drinking at like 14 years old. I know that's, but it took me a while in terms of like how soon people usually do that, right? So I didn't smoke weed ever, Mom. Never touched the stuff.
Not without a license for your medical condition.
Not without doctor's
in the state of Florida.
And I didn't start drinking until I was 25.
Wow.
No, I didn't start.
That's bullshit.
I know you were there.
I was there for 21, baby.
Yeah, man. So
I remembered. If you don't,
part of it I remember throwing up at a Checkers.
Yeah.
We'll tell that story one day.
The drive-through, that's great.
Right, the drive-through.
You know what we said to the drive-through lady who was there? Because she saw it happen. It's his birthday.
I bet she was like, I don't give a fuck. I have to clean that up later.
She threw her food at us.
Oh, man, that's amazing. It's not amazing. I'm sorry. Anyway, so, but this was one of the first times that I like went hog wild.
Yeah.
I'd been to like house parties and shit, and you'd have like a drink or whatever. You'd have some of the punch, somebody like shotgun or
some punch.
Yeah, exactly. But this was the first time that I went hog wild, bro. And they had a guy there who was making mixed drinks, and this was the first time I ever had Jack and Coke, rum and Coke. Okay. Not Jack and Coke, rum and Coke. I remember this because
what kind of rum was it? Bacardi or was it?
It was like definitely Bacardi.
Okay,
100% Bacardi. Because so I'm getting Bacardi, rum and Cokes.
Did they have a hired bartender?
Quote unquote hired bartender. He was a guy who could mix drinks.
Right.
I think like at the time I was like, this is super dope. Now that I reminisce on it, it was just a guy who could mix drinks.
Got it. Like most of the
Jesus Christ.
Like most of the DJs at the time.
Exactly.
You
is he a DJ or is he a guy who
plays some songs? Yeah. You got a playlist? Okay.
You're hired.
Yeah.
So he's making drinks. He doesn't care that I just keep coming back every 10 minutes. He's just throwing them to me, right? Now I'm tossing them back. Then they get Jello shots. This is the first time I ever had Jello shots. Bro, I'm not kidding you. I had probably, conservatively, I'd say 8.
Oh God.
Maybe more, but I'll say 8 for the story.
And I guarantee no water in between.
Absolutely no water. None. Not a drop. I'm just fucking going
pounding
crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking them so fast that they're not hitting me, right? Because I'm just drinking them so fast.
They're waiting. They're waiting here.
Yes. And you're young and you're dumb, but you're mostly young, and you can your metabolism is so fast that like it's not going to hit you for a while. It takes a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when you're older, you take a drink and your metabolism's so slow that it like fucking hits your liver and it goes boom. Exactly. But when you're younger, like you just you run through that shit, right?
Quick admission, I've gotten to the age where I've had too much to drink, and literally before the drunk is done, I feel the hangover.
Dude, I'm in the same boat.
It's awful.
Before I go to bed, I'm like, I already have a headache.
I feel bad.
This sucks.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
The good is no longer lasting. What's happening?
It makes you want to drink more because it's like, all right,
this hurts.
I don't want to feel this anymore. I was drinking to escape the pain. Why am I feeling this now?
Why have you betrayed me?
All right, so tossing the drinks back, going hog wild. Then they start to catch up with me. And slowly but surely, everything just starts to get hazier and hazier. Ugh. It's like when you're playing GTA, and the more you keep tossing those drinks back, or
Red Dead,
yes, and you just start falling over, and it's all blue and purple, and I remember I remember a handful of things that I did. One thing that I did that was really shitty, and if you're watching this, I apologize. But a friend of mine, he was there with us, and I was about to drink another Jello shot, but instead of drinking that Jello shot, I saw him in like across the room from me. And I fucking beamed him with this thing. I threw it as hard as I could, and it slammed against him. It fucking spilled all over his clothes, all over the wall of the apartment that I was at, on the carpet. God. And he looks at me and he goes, "What? Why did you do that?" And I was like, "Bro, you think that I would do some shit like that, Marco Dupa? You think that I would?" I remember this is the last thing that I remember is doing this to him. I was like, "Come on, son."
Before the circle closed,
I was like, "Come on, that ain't a thing that Dupa would do." Yeah, you accused me of that shit.
That's all, folks.
And then, that was pretty much around the time where, like, it was over. And
I guarantee everyone else went, he's drunk as fuck.
Oh, yeah, big time. Because this story's not over.
Okay.
I come to, and I'm in the bathroom, throwing up, and one of my girlfriends is handing me Ritz crackers.
Ah, nice.
And instead of eating the Ritz crackers,
you became the liability.
Yes. I became the like, oh God, now we have to deal with this thing.
Yeah. Party's over, folks.
I'm in the toilet. I'm throwing up. She's handing me crackers. Every time she hands me a cracker, I crush it into my hands. And I just let it sprinkle onto the floor, and I'm laughing maniacally. It's the funniest thing that I've ever done in my whole life.
And if people don't realize, your throw up is the most violent I've ever heard in real life.
It's awful.
It's a scream throw up.
Yeah.
It's a war cry. So I can only imagine you going.
Sorry. Yeah, man. Again, sorry if you're on headphones.
Yeah.
So I'm crushing these crackers. I'm throwing up. Finally, they're like, "We gotta leave. We can't continue to be throwing up in this guy's apartment." Right? They pick me up, try to get me to the car. I find out that the girl that I wanted to hook up with, she hooked up with another guy. So that was heartbreaking. I'm already shattered to pieces.
Right, from
and
the
then the
relationship
rebound chick is already like off doing her own thing, and I'm just like, I'm useless. Why am I on this planet? There's no reason to be here anymore. I fucking suck. Everything sucks. Don't take me home. Take me and drop me off in a ditch somewhere, because that's all I'm worth.
Yeah, take me to the sea.
So I go back to my homeboy's house, and I pass out there. I had to get up the next morning and go to work. I was working at Taco Bell at the time. I raced home, changed into my shit. I had throw up on my clothes. I took a quick shower. I put on my Taco Bell uniform. I go to work, and it's top 5 hangovers of all time. Damn. And it's so bad that I have to keep going into the public bathroom. Mind you, this was it was a day that it wasn't very busy in there. Yeah, so like it's not like I was like pushing people like, get out of my way, and like throwing up. But I kept going up into the bathroom and throwing up. And I actually had to tell my manager, I'm like, look, I got to be honest with you. I'm crazy hungover. Like I can't function right now. And she was cool, and she
you could say you had a Baja Blast.
I hate you so much.
I hate me too.
She was cool about it. She didn't work me too hard. She let me, just sit back in the back and drink a bunch of water until like a customer came, and she let me leave early.
Nice.
And that was pretty much that. That was one of the worst nights I've ever had. And I remember it was Bacardi rum, because for at least the next 6 months, I couldn't even smell rum without being... And when people say, like, when you drink a lot and then you smell it and it makes you sick... Yes, that is a real thing.
No, it is, yeah.
And I remember it because for a long time, I couldn't drink rum. It made me sick to my... I wanted to go... I wanted to throw up.
I'm glad that you got over that with tequila. Because most of modern day like bullshit pandemic hand sanitizer smells just like really bad tequila.
Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe the fact that like every time I
therapy,
rub it into my hands, I just keep smelling it, and I'm like, all right, it's not as bad as it was before.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Because now I'm like, I'm still not to the point where I'll go out and be like, let's drink tequila shots. But a mixed drink with tequila or just tequila straight, if it's like a really good tequila, I'll drink that.
Yeah.
I'll drink that. So, yeah, that was the worst. That's still, I mean, Valentine's Day is usually like, super casual day. You bring your loved one some flowers.
Yeah.
Some
chocolate.
Candy.
Yeah.
Speaking of candy, I mean, there's only one way to really end this show, right? And that's a Mount Rushmore of
candy.
Valentine's
Day candy. Yeah, for sure.
So, what do you think is the worst thing that you could receive? From
The hearts. The hearts.
Has
the hearts.
to be the chalky hearts, right?
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Yeah. I can't think of many other worse than that, though.
They're terrible.
As for the opposite end of that, there are levels to the box of chocolates, right?
Definitely.
We all know this.
Yes.
You know by the price point alone. I found a new appreciation for Godiva chocolates. Little squares.
Yep.
They're more expensive and look fancy for a reason. Because they're really good. Like all of them. Every single one.
Yep.
Every single one. But as far as the assorted box of chocolates goes, everyone hates the cherry one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine to me.
Oh.
I don't hate it. I also don't hate the coconut.
Oh.
Everyone hates the coconut.
Oh, what's the matter with you?
I don't hate that. See, like I wouldn't say I like them, but they're fine. If I were to accidentally bite into one, I'd keep eating it.
Oh. I throw the whole box away.
No. For my favorites, I mean, anything with caramel is a pretty safe bet.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
There are some that have, on rare occasion, like a mocha flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
I love anything with like a cookie crust inside too, like a cookie crunch.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I am also a fan of like the turtles, with the nuts.
Yes.
Inside.
Yes.
Also very good.
Mm-hmm. I can't argue with you yet.
Yeah.
Except for the fucking coconut.
Well, no. That's like an aside. I'm not saying I go for those, but I'm saying I don't.
Well, even the fact that you can stand them is.
I don't hate them
upsetting.
in the same degree that most people do. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Other than that, I don't know. What else do you have to add to the assorted mix? Toffee's fine.
Toffee's good.
Yeah.
Chocolate within chocolate. That's just like cream chocolate inside the chocolate. You can go the extra mile and get like white chocolate in there.
Yes. I love the kind that has like a white chocolate and a milk chocolate swirl.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hershey's Kisses are always around Valentine's Day.
Sure. Yeah.
And they have their white chocolate swirl. That's always good.
You know what? Like people talk shit on white chocolate too much.
Oh, I am a proponent of white chocolate.
I understand that white chocolate isn't actually chocolate. We get that, but it's still sweet and delicious.
I'll fight for white chocolate. White chocolate's delicious.
The Hershey's Cookies and Cream Bar.
You kidding me? Out of fucking sight.
Incredible.
Out of sight. I think what we're establishing here is chocolate is the best. Pretty much no matter how you do it, you're always going to get at least average to good to great.
How do you feel about dark chocolate?
I have warmed to it as an adult.
Same. It is in the same category as black coffee to me.
Absolutely.
Where I've gotten a taste for it. I used to absolutely hate the bitterness of it, but I think actually with like IPAs and with black coffee, just enjoying black coffee, like really good black coffee, my palate has opened to enjoying a darker chocolate.
Yes.
And it's healthier for you. So
that's what they say. Probably just shouldn't eat chocolate at all.
Probably not. But
if I'm ever eating dark chocolate, it's always like it's covering a cranberry or a cashew or something.
Sure.
So
Sure.
All right. I think it's well established that like you do anything fruity with Valentine's Day candy, it's like, all right, you're crossing a line. The chalk candy is the worst.
Trash.
And they should just stop making it.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't care how cute you get with the messages or how modern you get, where it's like, oh, now it's emojis and now it's like text. It's LOLs. And
give me a piece of paper that says that, and then a chocolate bar on top of that paper.
There you go. I mean, those chalky things taste like a piece of paper.
They do.
That you just wrote LOL on. So
they do.
But we can agree, chocolate is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about what to get your lover, flowers and chocolate. I say
it's simple. It's easy.
I say on Valentine's Day, people get so stressed out about like, oh, like if your girlfriend or boyfriend's birthday is, you know, March or April, you're like, fuck, there's fucking Valentine's Day and then I got to do their birthday. Keep it simple on Valentine's Day. Chocolate, flowers, do something sexy maybe.
My thing is always for Valentine's Day, because my love language is acts of service.
Yeah.
So therefore, my go-to is always to make my significant other like a dinner. You know?
Perfect.
It's something I enjoy doing and I enjoy providing, and it's easy enough.
Yeah.
You know, you get the ingredients the day before, you get the roses, and you get the chocolate as a little side piece, and you know, you say, hey, sit down, relax, I'll put some music on, put some candles on, I'll make you a nice dinner, we'll have some wine and enjoy this meal and your dessert.
Yeah.
And it's easy as that. You don't have to go all out, get them some Tiffany bracelet or some shit.
Right.
You don't have to do all that.
Don't do that.
You don't have to do that.
Because, number one, you don't have to do that. Number two, you are setting the bar really high for all of the fucking Valentine's Day to come.
Yeah.
Treat Valentine's Day as the day to set all of your inhibitions aside and go, I'm going to do something really romantic. It's going to be cute.
Yeah.
But don't overthink it, man. If your significant other doesn't like mushy gushy stuff, then just fucking watch a movie or something. Like you said,
time.
cook them. Spend time. That's
all it is. That's all.
Just make sure you make it about them. The reason that you're doing this is like, I want to do something. It's Valentine's Day. I want to do something special for you. Let's watch your favorite movie.
Sure, but don't ask them. Find that out throughout the other rest of the year.
Good point.
And then you bring that out.
Good point.
I find most of the time people appreciate when you bring something out surprisingly that you just caught on to over time. Leave a little note for yourself.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like that helps out a lot. And
there is no shame. There is no shame in taking notes in a relationship.
Absolutely not. No, it helps. It helps.
Be smart.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Be smart. If your significant other says something that you're like, I should remember that seems pretty important to them, write it down.
Sure.
There's no reason not to write it down.
I notoriously have a terrible memory, and it's gotten me in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend. There's no shame in it.
No shame.
Write it down.
Put it in a Google Doc.
Put it in a iPhone reminder.
Put an iPhone reminder.
Yeah, just to let yourself know ahead of time. But yeah, I feel like if your significant other is so materialistic that they're upset that they didn't get like jewelry or something of value, they're probably not a very good person.
Guess what? They're not the one.
Yeah.
You might have stumbled on a pretty big red flag.
Yes.
Yeah. So you should probably take
step away.
Yeah. All right, bud. We're closing in on the 3-hour mark. So
Let's get out of here.
Please.
Please.
Before we get out of here, we have to review these brewskis.
Sure.
Luckily, both of them are from the Prosperity Brewing. Excuse me. Luckily, both of them are from Prosperity Brewing. And they're both IPAs, one being a hazy, one being a regular IPA. Let's do the hazy first.
Yes.
That's how we started the episode. Obi, what did you think?
Well, I appreciate it for being exactly what it says, which is a
green screen
hazy IPA. It has a very Hazy IPA, classic flavor. They don't add any fancy apricots or, cumin to it.
Cumin.
the first spice that came to mind.
They didn't put any turmeric in this?
No turmeric, unfortunately. But, it's a pretty basic hazy IPA. It's what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fault it for that. It's very solid. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
I feel that. I'm going to give it a 4. I agree with you. It doesn't go above and beyond. But I think that's a little bit to its detriment that they don't try to do a little bit more with it. I blame it on my caveman palate, but pretty indistinguishable from any other like decently tasting hazy IPA, or honestly an IPA for that matter.
Yeah,
it's good. I'm gonna give it a 4. It's not. I mean, you're out there and you're drinking these. You can't, especially if you're at Prosperity and this is on tap. It's really good. I would go with it, but I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay,
4.5.
Yep.
And then the Clutch Plate IPA. I want to call it their flagship IPA, but
it is. It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call it their flagship IPA because it is. What'd you think?
I like this one a hair more. And I feel like it's because I enjoy that traditional IPA flavor that just kind of cuts through.
Yep.
Whereas the hazy felt a bit more diluted in a way, softer.
Mm-hmm.
I like the direct punch that the Clutch Plate has.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to give bonus points for, the inclusion of tank in the advertising. And I mean, it's again, similar to the green screen. It's a very traditional flavor, but I like it a lot. So
now, can you look at that? I think Tank is on that one too.
Oh my God, he is.
I think that they're sneaking characters in their own cinematic universe because I don't know who that is, but he's hiding there.
Oh, there's a guy in the hops.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that that's a thing.
Interesting.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So I saw that out of the corner of my eye while you were talking, and I was like, "Is that him on that one too?"
That's incredible. Yeah.
So
I think they're pretty new to canning their beers.
Well, it's a good start.
When I first went there, they only had stuff on draft. So I think they're advancing, which is great. I think they should, get some more notoriety, especially in the area.
Yes.
But yeah, all that being said, I enjoyed this one just a hair more, so that's why I'm going to give it a 4.75.
4.75. I mean, God, I hate to do it, but I'm liable to agree with you on that one. I mean, I'm going to give it a hair more than the green screen. I'm going to just go ahead and give it a 4.5.
Okay.
Because I agree. I think it's that traditional IPA flavor that, like you said, it cuts through. It's that bitterness, but it's not. It's that bite right at the back.
Yep.
Right?
It's nice.
It is.
I think these pair very well together.
Yeah.
You have this first, and then this is like the icebreaker afterwards.
Yeah.
This is very smooth and kind of like soft, and this one cuts through it.
Yeah.
It's nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the pairing.
What we can say is Prosperity, very, very solid brewing company. Continue to do what you guys are doing. You're doing it well. And we're excited about what you guys have to come. So, 4 and a 4.5 for the green screen, and a 4.5 and a 4.75 for the Clutch Plate for Prosperity Brewing Company. Good job, guys. Thank you for providing the beer. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Please.
This has been the One Baron Podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
I love you.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. Like, share, and subscribe everywhere podcasts are listened to, sold, watched, enjoyed, drank, and all that other jazz. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful... Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
Go check out Tank. He's awesome. He's beautiful. He's beautiful.
I'm gonna keep that in.
You should.